Hello, everyone. I'm going to lower down this music in just a moment. But I am super excited to see each and every one of you here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is Chanel, and I'm the founder and CEO of the Mentor Me Collective, where we are closing the Black wealth gap by providing access to career opportunities in tech. And so today is our Shark Tank. With MMC as we conclude this amazing 5 to 6 month long run of the fellowship program in partnership with Miro, the Barron Review, and Microsoft. So we're super, super excited. I have some amazing guests here with me today that are going to be joining me on the Shark Tank panel. First up, we have our amazing Antoine. We have also Malik. And then we also have Cheryl that are going to be coming on stage in just a moment. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the stage, everyone. Awesome. I'm so excited. So, as our folks in the background get themselves together, oh, we also have another judge that is popping on up as well. Fian, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. Thanks for having me, Chanel.
Absolutely. So, I would love for us to just go around and do some quick intros, and then we're just going to jump in and get started. So, feel free, Antoine, to kick us off.
Hi, my name's Antoine Young. Pleasure to meet everybody. I'm into marketing design with Nickelodeon, and I've been involved with UI UX design for the past 10 to 12 years, and now creeped into UI UX using machine learning in the past year or so.
Awesome. Welcome. And Cheryl, feel free.
Hi, everybody. My name is Cheryl Platts. I am the Director of User Experience Design for the Player Platform at Riot Games and author of the book Design Beyond Devices for Rosenfeld Media. I've been in user experience design for about 15 years, and I've worked in video games, server software, cloud services, voice devices all over the map. And I'm so excited to see your work today.
Awesome. Welcome, Cheryl. And Malik.
Yes, my name is Malik. I'm a product designer at Uber Freight, kind of bringing the Uber technology to the trucking space. So it's a little different. I don't know about it. I've been working in tech for about 10 years or so, and actually was a career change. I was a public school teacher for about 5 years, and then moved into tech. So that can happen, and you can do that, and then still end up at a place like Uber. So that's been awesome. And also, a lot of the work I've been doing in the UX space and in the product design space has been in more corporate tech, more internal tools, more of like the things, the software that helps people do the other parts of the work that then is the thing that you actually interact with. So a lot of internal stuff.
That's amazing. And Fian.
Hi, everyone. My name is Fee. I'm the Vice President of UX Research at JP Morgan. Essentially, what I do there, so I work in the corporate and investment bank, but I work on both internal and external platforms and tools. And I'm similar to Malik. I'm kind of like a career change pivot person, but I've always been in research throughout my career, but more recently moved into the tech space.
Awesome. Well, we're super excited to have you. We have some awesome folks. Our group one is actually going to join us in a couple of minutes. But again, y'all, we're just going to go ahead and have this as a Shark Tank. So the goal, if you all are watching on YouTube and or LinkedIn, is to allow our fellows to showcase all of the work that they've been doing over the past 5 and 6 months. I am going to go ahead and bring on up group one. Group one. So first we have Natalia. Welcome to the stage, Natalia.
Hello.
Hey, we have Cortland, and we have Uchenna as well. You all can feel free. I'm not sure who's going to be sharing your presentation, but feel free to go ahead and click on present and begin sharing your screen. But we can start off with introductions. So Natalia, Cortland, Uchenna, whoever wants to go first, feel free.
You guys can go. I'm gonna go ahead and share the screen.
Okay.
Hey everyone, my name's Uchenna. I am. Oh, sorry. I'm a product and web designer, and I'm really thankful to have this opportunity to work with these amazing people on this project at MMC.
Love it.
Hi everyone. Hi everyone, my name is Portland. I am a former educator, so I used to teach high school as well. I taught high school for 7 years, currently a leadership coach of teachers, but I'm looking to pivot into software engineering. And I'm so excited for you all to hear about our group project.
Okay, and my name is Natalia Hutchinson. I have a background in graphic design and visual arts. I am looking to pivot into UX design or product design, and I've had an amazing time learning, and I'm ready to present.
All right, all right. So without further ado, we see exit to full screen. I'm not sure. This is the screen that we're seeing, Natalia.
Oh, what is?
Oh, there you go. Okay, yeah. So feel free, to do your thing.
Oh, this y'all can't see the.
Okay, yeah, I can see the notes.
Yeah, you might want to. Yep, you can press present in the upper right hand corner.
So, okay, I pressed present. I did it last time.
There you
go. Can you guys see it now?
Absolutely.
Yeah, oh, it just went to that purple screen again.
Is it here?
It just says click to exit full screen. I'm not sure.
I'm pressing
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So back to maybe instead of operating with the keys, you can just click the next arrow on the screen. So go ahead, upper right hand corner, present.
Yeah. Present.
Did you want to copy the link instead of clicking present there?
Okay, let's see.
And then you can add, yep, perfect. There we go. Paste, enter. Oh. Hold on 1 second. I guess it's loading. Okay.
I can try it on my side.
Looks like it's coming through. Okay, great.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Good. Everybody can see?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Perfect. All right. So, hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Natalia Hutchinson, and my two teammates are Chinna Bass and Cortland Boykin, and we are in the health tech industry. So let me ask you this. Have you ever met anyone who had trouble speaking or couldn't get a word out? So, in this redesign of this is our redesign of an already made product called Seaboard. And we are asking for a $500 investment towards larger research initiatives with heat map tests. Today, our team will be discussing this project in detail and welcome any questions that you may have. So I'm the project manager, Uchenna is the project coordinator, and Cortland is the project administrator. Okay, so sorry. So I'm sure you all are wondering, what is Seaboard? I said the same exact thing. Seaboard is an AAC device, also known as an augmentative and alternative communication device. This device is another way of communicating rather than talking. Sign language and picture boards can also be considered a form of it. So why Seaboard? Well, we learned that Seaboard provided the solution to increase accessibility for people who cannot afford speech language pathologists. It's open to everyone and it's affordable. But Seaboard is also based out of Spain in South America, so there's only an Android and web application. So our problem statement is, how might we help individuals who have trouble communicating as a result of or due to medical diagnosis converse with family on an intimate level? Our research processes included brainstorming, personas, competitive analysis, and user research. So this mural snapshot displays us brainstorming possible solutions. And with that, adults, middle-aged, and seniors with either autism, stroke, or aphasia, or dementia were our main users with a mix of tech and AAC device understanding.
All right, thanks, Natalia, for starting us off. So after this, we then conducted a competitive analysis by finding reviews and feedback from users around the web. And then we created the first iteration of Seaboard's redesign and reached out to the creators of Seaboard for an interview to understand the needs of their users. We asked them about the challenges their users face using the application, their users' geographic and device demographics, and their design system. While that data was being collected, our former research team was reaching out to SLPs and caregivers to test the first iteration as well. This gave great insights about ways that we can improve navigation, inclusivity, and accessibility. After a series of 3 design iterations, 5 interviews, and 22 surveys, inclusive and intuitive features, icons, and interface updates were designed to help AAC users communicate. The login and onboarding screens were redesigned for ease of use with a bright color palette to easily engage new users. The interface's navigation and dark mode was updated to the Material 3 design system, and a side navigation bar was added highlighting the use of a locking and unlocking feature that hides buttons that users may accidentally click on. A music import feature was designed so that users can communicate about their favorite songs without leaving the app. And users can also search for and create custom and inclusive icons, changing hair and skin tones. Culturally inclusive icons and fringe words were sourced and created to adapt to users' individual needs. And on the settings screens, new display personalization options were added so that users can toggle and scale UI elements like undo buttons, icons, text, and label positions. In addition to all of that, Seaboard's Android app was also redesigned and created with all of the features included in the desktop redesign as well.
Thank you, Uchenna, for talking through our solutions. So there are a few next steps we would take to continue developing our products. So first, we connect with the Seaboard team. We learned from the Seaboard engineering team that many of our designs were already on par with their design team. So we believe we can gain useful feedback and user context to continue improving our product, and also hopefully host it as open source for users to be able to use it whenever they need it. Next, we'd add some code to our Figma prototype. This would allow us to test users' ability to be able to use the sound feature in real time so that they can determine how they would use the product to communicate on a daily basis. Lastly, we used the 2 previous steps to conduct another round of user testing. We'd really like to gain insight on our final version 3 iteration so that we can ensure that our product is easier for users to navigate. And now Natalia will talk us through our contributions.
So here I collaborated with Cortland on the first desktop version for testing and helped showcase it to the Seaboard team. I also helped with sourcing iconography. I created a more direct way to guide users by showing key features as I led them to their home board as well. I created the music feature, and my main focus was to ensure that the call to actions were easy to understand for all ages, and there was enough room for any buttons to be clicked, depending on anybody's medical diagnosis. I created the tooltips to help users, I chose orange and blue as the standard colors, orange to encourage communication while complementing it with the calm side of blue. I created the tooltips to help users with menu understanding and improved personalization task flow by updating the settings page. And I also built out the timeline layout and maintained it throughout the project. My main goal was to understand what each person's needs were in order for us to finish it strong.
So for my first contribution, I thought about the problem statement, and we noticed that there weren't many icons that were representative of Black people and people of color as far as skin color, hair type, even everyday use items and everyday speech. So I created icons and symbols using Figma, Canva, Vectormator, Paint S on Mac, and open source symbol libraries to make sure that symbols were there for users. Next, I created the personalization feature. So we wanted users to be able to create icons that represented people around them so that they could communicate clearly and effectively with those around them. So I created this feature so that users can personalize their own icons. And lastly, we talked to the Seaboard team and we noticed that the swipe feature was really hard for users to use as far as swiping from page to page. So I learned how to create component sets in Figma so that we can create a carousel here so users can easily swipe through multiple pages of content.
My contributions include collaborating with the team to create the first iteration of the mobile version of Seaboard, and that we also presented this to the Seaboard team and got really great feedback. I also used Cortland's icons for that iteration. And next, I implemented the Material 3 design system into version 2 of the mobile iteration. And we tested this with users. And I also added a long press UI to showcase more versions of a word in the prototype. And then lastly, I collaborated with my team to implement and modify the material design system on the desktop screens as well. And this includes navigation updates, improved login UX, including a dark mode, and also did a competitive analysis, which consisted of reading app reviews and documenting pain points for Seaboard and similar apps.
So thank you for your time. We truly hope you enjoyed this presentation and enjoyed hearing about our journey to help others increase means of communication through our Seaboard redesign project. Here you can connect with us on LinkedIn via the QR codes, and we're looking forward to hearing your feedback and questions. We hope you enjoy.
Awesome. We have room for one question, as we only have 1 minute. So feel free, any of the sharks, if you all have a question you want to ask.
You mentioned $500 for heat mapping, I think, and apologies if I heard wrong, but I'd love to hear like what you're hoping to learn if you get the investment.
Definitely, I'd like to answer that one. So actually, while we were interviewing Seaboard, we found out that a lot of their users rely on eye tracking technologies, as they a lot of times can't use their hands to do like fine motor, like pinching or swiping that we typically do for like touchscreen displays. And so the heat mapping would definitely help us understand if our interface is working for those individuals that are using eye tracking software already. So that's something that we're really interested in. And that's, I think, the next direction that we would go in terms of research.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I think what you ladies nailed on the head, which is going to be a very key thing, is the cultural adaptation, right? That's going to be a very keen thing from any culture that's not only in America, but throughout the global states. But it's from the symbols, and especially you can adapt from the culture to the music so it can relate. So I think that you guys look to the left, which is a very good way of looking at it, and that would, to me, sticks out. And I think that was a good job on that.
Thank you.
Awesome. Well, thank you, ladies, so very much. We look forward to hearing the wonderful feedback from our judges and also the viewers. You all can feel free to hop on off as we come and introduce Team 2. All righty, everyone.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, so Team 2 is in the building. We're super excited. I'm going to go ahead and bring up Malik. We also have Michael whenever he wants to come on, and then the rest of the team will populate as well. So feel free, Malik and Michael, to introduce yourselves.
Hello, my name is Malik. I have a background in public health and strategic research, especially as it pertains to health equity. And I'm really glad to be here, really excited to talk to you a little bit about the app.
Hi, my name is Michael. I have a background in clinical medicine, but I'm transitioning over to user experience and product design, and I can't wait to share with you the product that we've made together.
Hello, I'm Kiera. I'm a junior designer at a tech startup currently, and I'm just happy to be here.
All right. I think I see some more folks coming on. Feel free.
I'm Kiera. Currently, I'm just happy
Okay, here we have Katina from the design team as well as Ezra from the research team. I think we might be having a few difficulties.
Sorry. So yeah, I think there's some difficulties on the back end, but no worries. I know you all wanted to start really quickly. Are you having difficulties with sharing your screen?
I can go ahead and share the screen.
And which team is going first to which part of your group or your team is going first? The research team or the design team?
So I was gonna introduce the product and then hand it off to the research team.
Okay, cool. And research team, yeah, feel free. So I'm gonna go ahead and take some folks off stage so that you can go ahead and do that.
So hi, my name is Michael Amucharuba, and we're here seeking a $100,000 investment in our product, New Leaf, which is an app focused on building conversations and providing resources in BIPOC communities. Here's our team. And a special thank you to the Mentor Me Collective and to our mentors. During this project, we went through phases of research and ideation, define and design, and prototyping and testing. Our app comes from the phrase to turn a new leaf, which is to alter your behavior in a positive way, to start fresh, to change course, and start anew. New Leaf is focused on encouraging users to perform positive habits and practices, engage with educational materials, and build a community of support.
Hello, my name is Malik, and I was on the research side of the team. And our goal for New Leaf was really to create a tool that helps people of color deeply understand and engage with mental health and wellness resources. The question that our team gathered to answer was, how might we help users easily access mental health and wellness resources? And we set out to answer this question using a variety of methods, including user surveys, personas, and user interviews.
We conducted a competitive audit over 6 companies just to get a feel for the features and the tone and descriptions that were available in the industry, and to also get a sense for how these companies plan for their users. We generated surveys and obtained responses from 24 individuals, and from those conducted 5 user interviews from which we were able to gather and share key insights. From these insights, we were able to find that 95% of our users were African American, and we were able to also find out that most of them had anxiety about opening up about their mental health issues. Some prominent factors that prevented seeking help were anxiety about opening up to someone and fear of being judged by someone close to them. These user insights were mainly categorized into 5 categories, which were pain points, spirituality, counseling, personalized care, and alternative resources. And from there, we generated 2 user personas to encompass our users. The solutions that we created were directly to reflect the insights that we garnered from the users that we interviewed. Those being focused on our therapist locator and emergency services, our community engagement, and our daily self-assessment and mood journal. Throughout our iteration, we went through rounds of how might we's and rapid ideation in order to create a user journey that reflected our users, and paired with a style guide, we were able to take our lo-fi interactive prototype, which we passed off to the research team for usability testing, and iterate our hi-fi prototype. The main changes that we did was adding identifiers to navigation, adding search features, and removing features that were not ready to ship at this time. Here's a look at our hi-fi prototype. Before a more in-depth look, I'd like to take y'all through the demo quickly. And so as you would come into New Leaf, we would have a daily loading affirmation for our users. And they would be able to check their mood for the day and write about what may have occurred to put them in that mood or be affecting them at the time. Users could come and trace their previous journal entries, as well as take a self-assessment with accessibility features that would give them results based on their specific needs. We even included guided meditations that you can listen to live with your friends. In our community hub, we have discussions on current topics, events in your area, and self-care challenges, in addition to the educational and emergency resources available. And our highlight feature being our therapists located with specialists in your area with their specialty described. The next steps for New Leaf would be those concerning usability, accessibility, and content. But thank you for your time. Any questions?
I have a question.
No, go ahead.
So thank you all for presenting. I'm just a bit curious about the surveys that you conducted at the beginning. So I would just love to get, you said, I think maybe 91 or 95% of users identify as Black or African American, but what population did that for you to mention?
I'm sorry, there seems to be a little bit of noise in the background, but you said what population did we?
Yeah, sorry, I heard that too. I wasn't really sure. I said, what population did the survey actually go out to in order for you, like who did you specifically sample in order to arrive at the conclusion that it's like in the 90%?
Yes. So we actually distributed the survey both to LinkedIn, Reddit, Discord, Twitter, very general out to the public. Mm-hmm. But we started out with some modifying questions in order to get results from a demographic that applied to our target demographic. So based on the initial two answers, it weeded them in or weeded them out.
Got it. Thank you.
Thank you.
I have one question. I'm curious about, like, so when I think about product design specifically, it's about mixing the needs of the business and the user as well as like the design part of it. And so I guess my question is, how does this make money, right? Like, if this is going to be a business that we're supposed to give 500,000 to, how am I going to get my money back, right?
Yeah, so in terms of how do we monetize the product, being able to monetize the product, this product in itself, being that it would pair with specialists in your area, being with companies to be able to take special interest in planning events and pairing it with the app, going through and pairing our users, because we want to keep this free for our users. So going through and allowing the sponsors or the event hosts or the therapists themselves to say, hey, I know that I get a lot of engagement with those who truly need it in this space, and they need those resources available to them. So putting the onus on the sponsors instead of the users, whether it be from ads or from the events themselves.
Yeah, I would have loved to see some kind of like the whatever the portal is that the therapists use, like where they put in their information and things like that, because I think that's going to be the thing that's going to get people to want to, because it's like the marketplace where you got to get people on it to then get the free users, right? So it'd have been nice to see some of that aspect of it too.
No, I really appreciate that. Definitely think we'll take that into our next steps. And with our $100,000 ask, $75,000 was for development, but $25,000 was for pairing with the therapist and with the industry leads who know the content, who know what people need and what people can get from this, and allowing them to help lead us in that way.
I also had a question about, I noticed you had events and discussion groups in your plan, and I wondered if there was anything like sources for those events or a community engagement plan as part of your product design.
So for each individual user, they do have their own individual user hub, kind of like a profile section with trackers, the trackers specific to them, with their self-care challenges that they've been in. But that's also where you would opt in to putting in your location. And from there was where we would be inputting kind of the like events in your area. But in terms of putting up kind of like a goal or a guide in terms of that community engagement, we were more so trying to say like we saw a lot of interest from our surveys in podcasts and in influencers, and saying, okay, if we have this discussion of the month, if we have this podcast that a lot of people are listening to, or this meditation that a lot of people are currently live listening to with their friends, let's start a conversation about that. Let's bring not just professional opinions, but our users' opinions to the forefront. And that way they can engage with others in their area. A big part of New Leaf is not just the clinical mental health aspect, but building up positive habits and a support system. Often people in the BIPOC community have a hard time building a positive support system in their area. So how do you go and find others who are trying to build positive habits in all aspects of their life?
I love the vision, and I haven't seen the breakdown on the investment, but if you haven't considered potentially paying moderators to help make sure that it's a positive and supportive, it sounds like that's a really important part of your vision, is that discussion groups and building the energy around those posts, and that can be really draining in a mental health environment. So I'd love to see something like that thrive.
Thank you so much.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Sharks, for your questions. Thank you all, team. I know we had some technical difficulties, but we appreciate you all for joining us today. Thank you all very much. And again, feel free to submit feedback as well, everyone as well, those who are tuning in. All right. Have a good one, everyone.
Thank you all.
Alrighty. So the next team that we'd love to have on is actually Team 3. Team 3, go ahead and feel free to begin joining the backstage. All right. Team 3 is coming up shortly. So thus far, if you all are interested or are loving this amazing or these amazing presentations, please make sure that you are submitting your feedback. This was for group 1, but you can also use this as well to submit your feedback for group 2 and honestly all of the groups as well. All right. So I see Brittany on the backstage. Hey, Brittany. Hey,
hello.
Hey,
Hi.
Michael. You all are part of Team 3? Awesome.
Yes, we have 3 more.
Okay.
2 more.
Okay.
3 more.
Team 3? Okay, I see
awesome. 3 more.
Okay.
2 more.
Someone who is watching on YouTube, please make sure to take YouTube down because we hear that feedback in the back as you all are here as well, okay? So I'm not sure who is supposed to be presenting, but feel free to go ahead and share your screen. As we do it, go ahead and do that. I would love for you all to begin introducing yourselves. So Michael, you can feel free to unmute and introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Michael. I am currently a junior developer and my background is education.
Awesome. And Janae? Yeah, we can hear you now.
Oh, can you hear me? I was trying to connect my screen. But hello, my name is Janae. I'm a nurse by profession, but I've always had a creative flair for design.
Love that. And Brittany?
Hi, my name is Brittany Kukula. I'm a senior consumer insights manager for a large nonprofit. My area of focus is older adults and technology.
Awesome. Welcome to the stage. And Cheyenne?
Hello, my name is Cheyenne Grierson. I have a background in media management and digital marketing. Yeah.
Okay, welcome. Amber?
Oh, hi everyone. My name is Amber, and I have a background in psychology, and I'm hoping to transition into the user research field.
Awesome. I am going to allow Ariel to come on up as well.
Hi, everyone. How are y'all? My name is Ariel Alaba, and my background is in education. I was a high school teacher for almost 5 years.
Janae, do you want to share your screen?
Yes, I'm working on that right now. Sorry. It keeps kicking me out. Give me one moment here, guys.
In the meantime, welcome Group 3.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This is the one part of technology that unites all of us. We'll be on spaceships still figuring this out.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Are you all having issues with sharing your screen? Okay, I see it. It's loading. Okay, perfect.
It's not the presentation.
How am I able to see the whole screen?
If you go into edit design, and then you should be able to go into present mode.
Okay.
Okay.
It's not
Okay. Do you all need? Does someone else have it up that can help?
Sorry, I had it working before.
It's okay. We're all working through it together, so no worries. Anyone else want to kind of assist Janae?
Yeah, getting it up now.
Okay. Is it working? Janae, how's it looking on your end?
I think. I'm not sure. It keeps telling me that I'm not allowed to share my screen.
Oh, that's so weird. Okay, can you try now?
How about as she's getting the presentation together, one of you guys can tell us what the app is all about and what you guys are looking for. So when the presentation is started, we have some kind of information that she can help the transition go faster for.
Absolutely. Who's the team lead for, or one of the team leads? Feel free to begin, talking about your project. Okay. So what you want to do is click present, but you want to copy the link. So in the upper right-hand corner, click present. No. Yeah, there you go. Yep. And open up another window. There you go. And paste it. Okay. So click present here, right next to the share button. Absolutely. Yep. And go down to where it says copy link. There you go. Paste it. Awesome. So yep, you're welcome. Feel free to begin presenting.
Okay, great. Well, hello, Sharks. My name is Janae from Team 3. We are here today seeking a $100,000 investment in our product PACE. Today, our team will be discussing this project in detail and welcome any questions you may have. But before we go any further, let me introduce the members of our team, starting with our research team.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brittany Kakula. I contribute to all aspects of the research, design, and analysis, including the photo personas, the questionnaire design, and the interviews.
Hi, I'm Amber, and I contributed to the persona creation, questionnaire design, participant scheduling, and interviews.
And now introducing our design team.
System as well, and wireframing and prototyping for the routine scheduling screens.
Hello, my name is Michael Webster. With this project, I contributed by designing both low and high fidelity wireframes in regards to the layout for the Create Your Goal page, with clear onboarding instructions for the user to start documenting their goal, as well as focuses on typography designs. Font pairing is an important aspect of design, so I was very detail oriented about researching various font styles that complemented each other and landed on two that are legible, simple, and clean.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am Ariel Alaba. I contributed to our project by creating our logo design, login, registration, and home screens. And additionally, I did some research on color psychology and iconography to narrow down the direction of our logo.
Hello again, my name is Janae Jenkins. My role in this group was team coordinator. With this project, I contribute to the button component designs and design both the wireframes and final prototypes of the Select a Goal page and goal creation screens, giving the user positive reinforcement for completing tasks as they journey throughout the app. Next slide. Are you tired of downloading too many apps that take up space? Do you need more accountability when creating and completing goals? Do you find yourself not being as productive as you would like? If you said yes to any of these questions, then I have a solution for you. PACE. Studies show that setting goals increase performance and productivity by 11 to 25%. We designed this project as a way to better understand the user's needs when it comes to successfully completing one's goal. PACE is a goal tracking app that allows you to be a part of a customizable community and monitor your goals all in one place.
After completing a very thorough competitor analysis, we found that other productivity and goal tracking apps lacked integration. They simply required too much data input or had no or very little community or accountability aspects. And we felt that we should partner all of these things together so that a person can chase their goals or pace after their goals. Next slide, please. Now, you don't necessarily need multiple apps to track your goals. You don't have to build a second brain, if any of you guys know what that is. And you can add accountability partners with similar goals if you choose so. Next slide.
Is Amber on mute?
Sorry. To study the experience of users, we want our research objectives was to examine what motivates users of goal tracking apps, whether that may be career development, weight loss, finance, or personal lifestyles routine, etc. Second, we want to learn the preferred user's journey for a goal tracking app, a goal tracking accountability app. We wanted to learn how consumers navigate through goal tracking apps and identify pain points they may face as they interact with the interface. Third, we wanted to learn the needs and expectations of users when using a goal tracking app. We want to uncover ways that will, one, improve consumers' experience as they meet their own personal goals that they create, and two, motivate the consumers to continue using the app. Finally, we want to examine how ideal users use or want to use their goal tracking app, whether that is customizable, visually motivating, or community-based. Next slide. For our research methodology, we teamed with the design team to create a persona that will identify a target audience. From then, we created a pre-screener to eliminate people who don't fit this criteria. We had a total of 19 participants who answered 9 questions. From then, we took 6 participants from the pre-screener pool to conduct interviews, and they answered about 22 questions that took 20 to 30 minutes. Next slide.
As Amber mentioned, the proto personas allowed us to work with the stakeholders, the design team, to identify target audiences based on common assumptions of a fictional user's needs, wants, and pain points. Each team member answered questions about who they thought the ideal user of PACE was, and after discussions, the research team looked across all responses and pulled them into one person, Alana. Alana is a late 20s educated woman focused on personal development goals. For example, she wants to accomplish things from her vision board, but she needs color, visual progress, prompts, and community for her to feel like she can do those things. She uses a lot of goal-related apps, but gets frustrated with apps that aren't easy to use or ask for a lot of information to get started. Next slide. So this persona helped the design team keep the user at the center of their design. We also conducted semi-structured interviews with real people to hear what they thought in their own words. And the interviews helped us understand the context, pain points, feelings, and perceptions of real goal tracking app users, as well as their ideal experience if they had a magic wand. The good news is we found verification in a lot of the persona assumptions in the real people we talked to. Everyone used the goal tracking apps for personal development goals because they want to feel empowered. For example, one participant said, I use goal tracking apps for the feeling of accomplishment. That keeps me going. It's like a video game. You compete tasks and rewards. I get rewards and I reward myself. Ideally, they want to see their progress in a visually appealing way in an app that is easy to use and customizable to their goals. Goal tracking app users are open to trying new apps, but quick to delete if they're unhappy with it, and they're interested in community sharing depending on their goal. Next slide.
So once the design team received those insights back from the research team, we began building out our wireframes. So together we decided on certain features that were low effort for MVP, but also had high value for the user. So things like the community page where users were able to hold each other accountable, progress bars and goal overviews for the user and the community, and scheduling setting to help maintain a routine. So for our design system, we wanted to encourage motivation. So we used colors that felt motivating. So bright colors like orange, yellow, red. And then we used a component library for our icons and buttons that have state design, and a font pairing software to choose our font pairings, and Ariel made our beautiful logo. It just feels very motivating, just like going up. And this is our project walkthrough. So for MVP, we did everything that was like necessary. So everything is not wired up. The things that felt the most important for the user to accomplish were things like creating goals, scheduling a routine, and posting in the community, which you will see right here. And that is it. Thank you, guys.
Now, Sharks, are you ready to goal set at your own pace? And that's it.
Okay. I really like this. I like the name Pace. I have two questions, just two questions real quick. In order for Pace to understand your goals and your vision boards and everything that you need, the data information that you're gathering from it is also connected to the social media, so it sees what it likes, what she posts, or he or she posts, what they like, what they dislike, to adapt and understand what they're looking for, and to monitorize or project a schedule for them to meet their goals.
So our concept and idea was for kind of everything to be done manually. So
okay,
the user inputs their goals, and then they have a feed with their community where they can see what their community is doing as well, to kind of encourage that accountability aspect.
Okay, and Pace can be used on all devices, right? So it's all linked into one account, but it can be used on multiple devices. Like they can get a notification on their watch or on their phone or from their desktop, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
I'm also curious, team. Thank you for sharing. I wanted to hear a bit more about the community aspect, and I kind of started to think about, I guess, privacy or personally identifiable information and consent, etc. So as you're creating these goals, and I think it had at the end, like, would you like to share to your network? And it immediately goes to the community. Is there an assumption on the user's end, or is there, as they're logging in or as they're creating their profile, are they to know that this is always there's potential for it to be public and anyone can see it? So that's my first question, then I'll ask second.
Yeah, so for the community, they would be able to opt into posting in the community. So obviously certain things are private. So there is like once you create your goal, there's an option to post in your community, or you can say no, thank you. But yeah, obviously, yeah, we want to give that option.
Okay, so there's an understanding that they're consenting to having that shared publicly.
Correct.
And with the community as well, is it a general community, or can folks kind of curate a kind of subset of communities around maybe one of their goals that they have?
It's more specific toward that. It's for them to have other counterparts, other people that are in the community that are going toward the same thing, to be able to have that type of accountability.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
So I just had one. Sorry.
Oh, please go ahead.
I definitely like the idea and the concept. I think the thing that I'm always thinking about is some of the details. I think that's where usually I end up getting caught up, right? Is like the details of some of those flows, especially when you're like you're creating the like those forms and stuff like that. There's a lot of potential avenues or like branches to that flow, right? And where people can get lost, and where it might not have everything for certain types of customers or certain types of users. And I think I would love to see more of because that's kind of like the core part of it, is like creating those individual goals. And I would love to see more of how that actually works.
Yeah, our intention was like with more time and resources to build up more. But for MVP, we kind of chose a more straightforward user flow. So yeah.
I just think even in the presentation, just slowing down a little bit to see that, to kind of get a better feel of how I would, because I don't get to kind of like play with the prototype in my hand, to be able to kind of like understand that a little bit better, because it was like a video, right? It seemed like it was a video rather than a prototype that you click through.
Okay.
Yeah.
I loved the nuanced customer insights that you brought to the table, which were great. And one of them was around like negative emotions surface if not inspired to make progress. And as a former like game designer, I'm curious, did you get a chance to test whether your decisions for how a goal is celebrated motivated people to keep going?
That's a great question, which would have been a really good follow-up on additional interviews. So we didn't get to go into that level of detail, but just the fact that the emotions that were surrounding goal setting and that piece, like I think it would have been really interested. So everyone starts off, really optimistic and positive, and then depending on their progress or how they're doing, it's like up, down, up, down. So that would have really been interesting to look at.
Thank you.
All right, team. Thank you so very much. We appreciate you for giving us all the tea on your wonderful app here. Thank you for your participation. And yeah, we look forward to seeing everyone else who is viewing, submitting their feedback. Have a good one, everyone.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. So now we have group 4 that is going to be popping on in here. I'm going to go ahead and bring up to the stage Imani, Ashley, Victoria, if you want to come on camera, and then also Darcel. Welcome.
Hi.
Hey. So I'm going to go ahead and have your presentations shared here, and you all can feel free to begin to introduce.
Hi, so as Chanel said, my name is Victoria Grace. I'll start us off and then the rest of the team will introduce themselves. But do you guys remember your first apartment or the last move you made to a new city? We're Movable, the personalized apartment hunting app designed to simplify finding your new home. So as I said, my name is Victoria, and we're asking for $400,000 investment in our product. And today our team will be discussing our project and welcomes any questions you may have. So the rest of the team will introduce themselves now. Is Darcel on?
Sorry, my mic was on. Hi, I'm Darcel Dione. I'm also on the research team.
Hi, I'm Ashley Odom. I'm on the design team.
Hi, I'm Imani Butler, and I'm on the design team.
And then we also had Curtis also on design. Okay, so moving forward with our methodology, so we conducted 3 semi-structured interviews. We also did a survey. We had about 4 respondents on that. We also did a competitive analysis of the major apartment hunting sites, and we also spoke with a realtor to gain an understanding of their regulatory background. For all these steps, we focused on the journey overall, the challenges, and things people wish they had during the process. And so in terms of the overall journey, right, they start with the motivation to move all the way to moving in. We're focused on the motivation to preparing to move. And since New York City is such a competitive market, which is why we focused on New York City in terms of creating this prototype, as you can see, these timelines are really short. While you can spend like 2 months browsing, when it comes to actively searching for an apartment, it may only take 1 month. So motivation. So in terms of moving to a new city, right, people often cite employment, but then people also cite culture of a city, especially more with the transition to remote work. And then a continuum is the stage of life, right? New York City is very popular for like young professionals. And so the young professionals said, I always wanted to be in New York City. But when it comes to moving within a city, right, there's more of a focus on budget for cheaper rent. What can you get for more space and updated amenities? So how much are we working with, right? So the budget's typically based on online financial advice, right? That like you're not supposed to spend more than 30%. And here we have this lovely quote from EC talking about her decision to move to the city being based on budget, right? Like always wanted to make the move to New York City, but took advantage of the COVID deals. So here we see the interplay between budget and moving to the city and also like moving within a city. And then talking about browsing, right? So when it came to like actually looking for those apartments, people didn't have an understanding of the market until they do that initial browsing. So they start by looking at the neighborhood, they get an understanding of the price of the apartments and how that lines up with their budget, and also the amenities available based on that budget. And so we knew we needed something that summarized the markets so that you don't have to spend all that time browsing, and also not get discouraged when you spend all that time and don't necessarily find things as easily that fit your budget, and also make the browsing experience for those that enjoy window shopping easier and more fun. So for our competitive analysis, Shanette isn't on, so actually Shanette, you're on. Yeah.
I know she said she was having difficulty. Are you able to unmute yourself, Shanette? No. Can you guys hear her?
No.
Nope.
No.
Okay. I can do it. For the competitive analysis, we were trying to look at ways how we can make the movable app differ from our competitors. So within that, we looked at several different features that we thought were important to highlight, such as user-friendly navigation, the photo view, making it transit friendly. So when people are wanting to find transit in the area, those are all things that they can find within the app. And we thought that that would be something that can highlight our app and make it stand out from the rest. Also making it scam-free as possible. A lot of these current apps have a lot of issues with scammers and things like that. So we wanted to make sure that we took the right protocols and had the right things in place to avoid that from happening within the movable app.
All right, and so actively searching that 1 month right before you're deciding to move in. So while people look at all these different websites, the most helpful resource is the one that's most comprehensive in terms of, yes, thank you everyone for being with us through the technical difficulties. The most comprehensive in terms of the filtering of the lifestyle, not only of the building itself, but the neighborhood, and the most up-to-date, right? Some of the participants cited having an apartment tour at like 1 p.m., but apparently the apartment was already gone after the 10 a.m. tour, right? So those are very important in a very fast competitive market. And so in addition to that, people are very visually oriented during the browsing process. When they see an apartment that looks dingy, they get the perception it's unsafe. When they see an apartment where the photos are very zoomed out, they get the perception that it's actually really small and people are being deceptive. So being really cognizant of how listings are being presented on the site was also a very important need for us.
So with some of these insights in mind, with the search results, we really wanted to focus on allowing searchers to be able to filter their search by price, neighborhood, amenities, basically any of their preferences, as well as we really wanted to highlight the photos here. We wanted that to be some of the most important information to really show that our photos have been vetted by the movable company. And with the apartment view, again, we emphasize images. We really wanted to highlight the quality so that we can demonstrate trust with searchers looking through this app. And we also wanted to list statuses to show availability and allow them to see tags based on their preferences and really get a feel for the kind of neighborhood that they would be in should they choose this apartment.
So when it came to the application process, we were able to interview and issue surveys to get feedback. So one of the insights that we had was that the process can be very overwhelming. There are a lot of moving pieces when it comes to the application process. And so we were trying to create a way that we can make this as user-friendly and as easy for everyone to just complete the application process. So try to alleviate so many moving pieces and tie them all into one app. We want to make it cohesive and we want to make it very easy for people to use. So things that we determined that were needs for that is to continue to have easy modes of communication. So making sure that the applicants are able to communicate easily and freely with the landlord, the property manager, etc. Something else that we got as feedback was that applicants are looking for quick responses and approval times. Nobody wants to wait a week or so to get a response in an apartment when, as Victoria mentioned earlier, things are, slipping away very quickly. So we don't want to have long turnaround times. We want to have quick responses and be able to have people facilitate that within our app. And lastly, another thing that we looked at were having simplistic ways to upload the many required documents that are necessary to apply for apartments.
So when you need to submit documents, you want to be able to have access to the documents without having to wait and submit later on. People want to be able to upload as soon as possible, given how quickly apartments can become unavailable. From the app, you can upload your documents from the internal storage as well as from cloud services such as iCloud, Google Photos, and Dropbox.
So let's talk magic. When it comes to browsing and applying for an apartment as well, another insight that we were able to feature or highlight from EC was that she didn't feel that she had access to all of the apartments. She felt that a lot of the information was siloed. Within Street Easy had one set of apartments. Craigslist had another set of apartments. Even Word of Mouth obviously had their own set of apartments that weren't even uploaded into any type of housing resource. So she just would prefer an app, which is what we're creating with Movable, that would allow it to be, again, more cohesive, something that didn't have everything be siloed or in different little silos. It kind of bridged that gap so that people can find the off-market word of mouth places with also the nicer lofts that maybe aren't featured on a Street Easy as well. Something else that was really important for the users that we thought they would enjoy was having an electronic version of a personal realtor. We know that hiring a realtor or a broker can be an added expense in an already expensive moving process. And so we figured that if we had that feature added to our app electronically, it wouldn't add that added expense for them to hire somebody personally. They can have an electronic version of someone to also go out and give them suggestions of places what they want to live at and things like that. When it goes to preparing for the move, Lee mentioned that she is really type A. She wants to know very far in advance, like when she's moving somewhere, where is she going to walk to go get her coffee? Where is her closest library? So something that we thought would be really cool for our app is to have a neighborhood feature. So this would allow someone to put in their address, determine where they're going to be living at, so that they can then determine what are the local resources around them that they're going to frequent if that's something that's important to them. Maybe if they are someone who's very much into the gym, they want to live walking distance from a gym. So we want to be able to have them have access to neighborhood guides and maps throughout our app.
So as mentioned, what our main goal was to really simplify the application process from the initial search to finalizing their application. Victoria, are you able to click the link? We can't, I don't see your screen, Victoria, if you're sharing your screen. Okay.
As for right now, as you're using our movable app, you're seeing right now is a display for how the user profile is on where we're trying to make it more digestible and easable for consumers to be able to navigate through the app. As for right there, you see with the button, you see like new application is on how you're going to be starting to use it. As well, you can see with our toolbars with home, search, and mailing, as well for application statuses on what other features the movable app is able to work with when trying to move to new locations or trying to move from apartment to apartments.
Okay, so when using Movable, we really wanted it to feel personalized for the searcher. So we really want them to be able to search by their needs. And so they have the option to search by like address, neighborhood, whatever. And they can also filter things. And then once you put in the neighborhood that you want to live in or the address or wherever, you at first, before you even see the apartments that are available, you can see a quick summary of the market to give an idea of affordability. So here we have like images as the main focus. As we said, this really helps with the searchers feeling like they can trust the apartments that they're viewing. We have that badge down there to show that we did vet these, we vetted this apartment complex as well as the photos that they uploaded. We also have a status to show availability at a glance, so you can hurry up and see like if this is available right now, you can hop on that if you're interested in it. And so once you go in and you decide to apply, you can go ahead and upload some of your most important documents for the application. And then from there, immediately you can go and track the status of that application. So let's say just for fun that they have already been approved for that unit in particular. They can click accept and they will see that they can immediately contact their realtor. And an interesting feature about this is that not only can they contact the realtor that they've most recently been in contact with, but they can also maintain a relationship with realtors from previous units that they were interested in. Now, sharks, let's get folks moving with Movable. We're happy to discuss detail further.
So I really like this idea. I was born and raised in New York, and I've moved probably every year since college, so at least 5-6 times. I've moved, and so this is definitely something that I would have 100% used. And so, yeah, everything about the presentation, I was like, okay, that kind of resonated with me. So my only comment is really about, I started thinking, okay, how do I make this happen, right? What would we need to actually be able to do? And so that gets me starting to think about on the tech side, right? Of like, how do those integrations work, right? Because I would think if you're submitting the application, that it's submitting it to some kind of system. And again, I think this is the fact that I'm thinking about this is a testament to how great your presentation was in terms of that's the thing that I'm kind of focusing on is that aspect of it. But I'd love it if there was a way to that you talked about how does it actually work on a technology side. I think that's one thing as a designer that's been super helpful for me is to really dig into the weeds of on the technical side, how's it going to work? Because that's often where you get a lot of the pushback and the making things not happen is like, oh, well, that's going to take 3 years to make that happen. So it's like, okay, what do we do instead? And so maybe even if there was like a link to just email it, right, to that broker, so that way you can have all your documents uploaded. So that because I've definitely lost apartments like that where I didn't send the information, the application soon enough, and so like if everything's already in the system, in your system, but your system's not connected to anything, it can just one click email it to that broker, and then he has everything, she has everything right away. And so even something like that to be like, okay, that's what we put out first, and then we will build into getting all of those like integrations to happen. But yeah, otherwise yeah, awesome.
And also writing off of Malik's back on what he just said, being a New Yorker, he's looking at the side that he's talking about, but I was also thinking about business and money and internet and liaison. I think this would be the perfect app for the New York housing connection, where they have the housing lotteries for people with certain incomes that can get into certain buildings, where you can fill out that application through the New York housing and just integrate it right into this app. So not only do they find out what apartments are going from Facebook to Craigslist, they also become lottery candidates for these new buildings that's coming up around New York, especially in Brooklyn. And that would be just a key sense of uniting with you, right? And also might open up an avenue of getting a grant and having this being powered by the city of New York or the state of New York to provide it, and it'd become a public access where it communicates and gives you the integration to the servers and the information that you have from the city and the state already, and you have government funding to continue and enhance this app as it comes along.
And to build on what both Antoine and Malik were saying, like your vision is so big and it's connected to real value from folks. And it's so big that it might be valuable to like give us a middle step. And I think you have two choices. There's breadth, right? You like your integration across silos. You're like, oh, there's so many data sources, which is really challenging, right? Like that quote you had about Craigslist versus other sources, like Craigslist posts are not going to come with formatted images and posts. And so that's inherently like that in itself is a huge design challenge or you could do what Antoine was talking about and say, okay, we're going to go end to end. And maybe it's not going to be super integrated across all the data sources, but we'll prove out how valuable it is to be able to go from browse to application. Which is not to say that your beautiful vision of super app for movable is not valuable, but just that you can't do everything at once and you want to set yourself up to success. So I'd be very curious as like an investor to see like where you'd like to take it in that middle stage.
Thank you so much for the feedback, everyone. This is like really awesome. I will say that like one of our participants did talk about housing lotteries, just didn't mention in terms of time, but yeah, this has been really great.
That's awesome. Thank you all so very much. This was a phenomenal app. I myself live in New York and definitely use Street Easy. And honey, I was stressed for a whole 3 months after relocating from Maryland to New York. So this is phenomenal. I definitely know of folks who are interested in using the lottery as well. So great work, great detail to thinking of practical strategies and how to make life for everyday people better. So yes, this is group 5, everyone, not group 4. Group 4 is actually coming up next. Please feel free to submit your feedback for group 5 for the movable app below. All right, ladies and gent, have a good one, everyone. All right. So next up, we have group 4. We have the lovely Amina, Ashley. We also have Sophia, Warina, and Leah, and all of the things. So we are super excited to have you join us. So please feel free to go ahead and, oh, my bad. Are you still here? Okay, great. Amina, you're in the wrong window. We're seeing StreamYard.
You're
I'm not
seeing
sure.
Okay.
Yeah. So while you do that, I would love for you all to go ahead and introduce yourselves. We can start with Sophia.
Hi, everybody. I'm Sophia, and I have a background in software development, and I'm looking to transition into product design, and I'm just happy to be here.
Hi, everyone. I'm Amina Matthews, and I am transitioning into UX research. My passions are in relationship psychology as well as in ed tech, and I'm also very excited.
Hi, everyone. I'm Ashley Lewis. I'm a senior project coordinator, and I am looking to transition into UX design and research.
Hello, my name is Williana Benson. I am an educator transitioning into the user research space. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Leah Herbert. My background's in psychology and technology, hoping to transition to the UX research world. And I'm really fascinated with mental health tech.
Awesome. And is this the right screen, Chanel? Can everybody see it?
Absolutely. Over to you.
Perfect. Hello, everyone. We are looking forward to sharing our app design, Pantry Pal. We are a nonprofit tech for good in food industry company that is creating solutions to address food insecurity. Our team consists of 4 researchers and 1 designer, and since we just introduced ourselves, we will continue on. We are asking for an $80,000 investment in our product. Today, our team will be discussing this product in detail, and we welcome any questions afterwards. So let's start with the problem. In this past year, the price of food has grown 8.8%. This means it's getting increasingly more difficult for families and individuals to be able to put food on the table. In 2021, a national survey saw out of 95,000 students that were surveyed, 34% are experiencing food insecurity while struggling to maintain basic needs such as safe housing, food, and hygiene. And while college students and young adults aren't the typical demographic that one thinks of when you think of food insecurity, this shows that they are also struggling to put food in their bodies because of this rising cost. Specifically, a Kennesaw State University student from Atlanta, Georgia, Kevin Lopez, said that he's feeling the pinch of rising prices while trying to pay his own way through college and working in construction full-time. But Kevin isn't the only one who's struggling to make ends meet. Meet Cynthia. Cynthia is exactly the type of person who we're looking to help. She's a 25-year-old mom raising a 5-year-old daughter while attending nursing school at Atlanta Technical College. Cynthia wants nothing more than to give her daughter a better life than she had growing up. So Cynthia dedicates hours to working full-time and studying for her classes. Cynthia and her daughter were getting by before these rising prices, but now they're forced to choose between paying rent, childcare needs, and food. Without any support from her parents, Cynthia has to rely on the community for help. So in between work and picking up her daughter, she rushes to the nearest food pantry before they close. And when she gets there, she sees they're out of gluten-free options. Her daughter has strict dietary needs, so she has to find another pantry option. She asks the people who are volunteering for suggestions, but because their pantry list is out of date, they don't have the correct address for the nearest pantry. So Cynthia has to try to find these on her own. And when she gets to the next one, she realizes that they're not even accepting new members. So where does this leave Cynthia? Not only is she now stressed and confused about what to do next, she's also struggling with limited food access for herself and her daughter.
Now our focus is on helping the Cynthias and the Kevins. We want to figure out how can we provide young adults with personalized support throughout the process of accessing food and essential resources in food insecure populations. We decided to take a deeper dive by interviewing local food pantries and nonprofits to better understand their pain points and their goals. We learned that it's essential to advocate for diversity and inclusion efforts when hiring pantry workers. This helps for users when visiting pantries to see faces that look just like them. It is also difficult to keep an up-to-date listing of the nearby pantries. As we saw with Cynthia, she experienced not being able to get help from the pantry she visited with correct information about nearby pantries. And when she found a nearby pantry, it was either closed or not accepting new members. Lastly, it's important to improve visibility and support. Visiting pantries can be very overwhelming, especially if it's your first time. So having that community support and support from the app can be helpful.
Thank you, Ashley. Welcome to the design portion of Pantry Pal. With feedback from research, we learned that our target audience desired filtering options, a map, and communication feature, to name a few. So with these wireframes, we wanted to create a simple and easy app to navigate. These high-fidelity wireframes are displaying the onboarding process within our app. We wanted to ensure that our app was a one-of-a-kind and that our users were aware of the features and comfortable using Pantry Pal. More specifically, we chose colors that evoke a community vibe and ultimately wanted to ensure a positive experience for our users.
Welcome. You just missed the onboarding process, but that's okay. You can continue with Cynthia as she signs up with us for the first time. Cynthia has made it to the sign-in screen. Go ahead, Cynthia, and click the sign up button. Great, you've made it to the sign up screen. Ooh, I'll turn my head so you can enter your information in. Great, go ahead and hit go for me. Cynthia loves seeing these smiling faces. She wonders if anyone looks familiar. Anywho, go ahead and enter your zip code for me. You're this much closer to finding those resources. Here's your results. Oh, Cynthia's a bit overwhelmed with the amount of results, but I can help with that. Go ahead and click the filter button beside the search. So it looks like Cynthia wants to sort by name and relatively close to home. Hit apply for me, please. There you go, a few less selections. Oh, she's ready. Go ahead and click your selection. I'm so glad you'll see these smiling faces when you visit. Go ahead and scroll down to see more information about the center's hours as well as the criteria. Here's a bit more information as well on where the center is located. So when you're ready, go ahead and click Check Inventory. Here, Cynthia notices that the snacks are out. Glad to know that info ahead of time. So I wouldn't mind looking at the greens. Oh, well, Cynthia wants vegetables, so we'll go ahead and look at the vegetables. Great, both spinach and tomatoes are in stock. She's happy now. Oh, Cynthia, do you have a question? Okay, let's get you some help. Go ahead and click more info. Cynthia prefers real-time help, so go ahead and click chat with us now. Looks like Cynthia doesn't need me anymore. She's got great help now. Thanks so much for looking at Pantry Pal with Cynthia and I.
Thank you so much. Next, that was core on both the UX and design agenda was really painting a picture. We really wanted to solve users' pain points, but we know that the core of strong UX design and research is developing solutions, not just features. Going back to our generative research, which really sought to solidify some of the adoption metrics, was first and foremost solving misinformation. We realized that a lot of our users were falling into pinpoints where there was wrong working hours times and mismanaged inventories. Through the Pantry Pal app, as you guys can see to your right, we were able to add accurate, high fidelity, as well as high accurate user interface to fix said problem. Next was user representation. Our target audience was minority young adults, and we've realized through our generative interviews that a lot of young adults didn't see themselves within the pantries, and there was a true disconnect between provider and consumer. To fix that, Pantry Pal was able to make two intentional decisions. First, by visually having diversity weave throughout the app, from home screen to support. Secondly, by engaging in strong recruitment and really tapping into underserved populations. Lastly, community visibility and support. Nonprofits leaders spoke very strongly that you're only as strong as your university partnerships, your community partnerships, and your visibility. So we were able to say, how can Pantry Pal also play a part in that system? So we decided to play and put a process in there where Pantry Pal has real-time support in which we can be mediators between the user and the community at large, pantries, nonprofits, and supports. Thank you. Next, we have usability tests. We're not only interested in adopting our app, we're interested in those retaining our app. We were able to interview young adults that needed food pantries and asking them around 7 core usability test questions. We delineated between pain points, best features, and dream features.
It seems like we might have lost Leah. So I'm going to step in, but if she comes back, she can step in. So to go back to pain points, the ones that address usability, we mostly fixed had to do with text alignment, as well as making a seamless process to signing in and clarifying some of the filter descriptions, which originally were a little more vague to begin with and caused some confusion with our users in the usability testing. As far as best features, people love the ability to be able to filter the options, especially understanding the differences between cooked meals, between pantries and their location, as well as the different hours as well. The next thing that was a really big hit was the inventory page. Specifically, people loved that some users wanted to find snacks like hot Cheetos, where other ones were a lot more health focused like vegetables. So the inventory feature allowed them to personalize their experience. And then the dream features. If they could have one thing, what would they want us to add? Well, a lot of people wanted a map feature so that it was easier to tell the differences between the locations and where they are, as well as the relative area around them, and a delivery feature, since we know that a lot of this population, especially users like Cynthia, have unreliable transportation or no transportation at all other than public transportation. So having a delivery feature can be very helpful. And when it comes to the usability test, we adjusted these things based off of our insights. And so you can see from the right that we changed some of the text alignment. Our designer changed some of the text alignment. We also added more descriptions as well as a map feature.
Thank you, Amina, and also Leah. For our future directions, diversifying our target audience is important to us. Diversity is important. Having a kid-friendly approach, supporting those with disabilities, poverty, veterans, and non-native English speakers. Through our research, we know that creating an app that's friendly for younger demographics, simplifying those who are elderly, and it decreases pain points. Delivery and rideshare services. We are knowledgeable of the multiple pain points in users who need wheelchair accessibility, who live in rural or suburban areas, have time conflicts like single parents like Cynthia. Instacart, Shipt, Lyft, DoorDash, and Uber as a solution to preventing food insecurity. Destigmatizing food pantry use, leveraging social media influencers on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook groups, to encourage a community, a rich community, in terms of helping Pantry Pal serve those in need. With Pantry Pal, our goal is to create a shame-free culture. Next. Shout out to our amazing team, Dr. Leah Herbert, Ashley Lewis, Amina Matthew, myself, Rihanna Benson, and Sophia Harvey. Thank you so much for joining Pantry Pal, and we look forward to your questions.
All right, ladies. So Sharks, take it away if you have any questions.
Hi, team. Well done. This was brilliant. I just had, two quick questions. The first one is, I noticed right now it seems like it's geared more towards Atlanta. Are there any goals to kind of scale or roll out to other cities across the nation?
Yes, definitely. We wanted to focus on a more targeted demographic just to begin with, but we do plan to expand. We've also looked into specific areas such as Houston and others that have a a more minority demographic, but are also shown to have higher rates of food insecurity. And so we want to make sure that we branch out to those areas. New York is another one, but they do already have a competing app called Plentiful that services that area, which is why we didn't focus there.
Okay, thank you, because that was actually one of the other questions I had about competitive analysis. But the second question was, you talked about ensuring that the options are up to date and like things are in stock. So with Cynthia's example, can you talk a bit, or can you share a bit more about kind of the tech that would drive that to ensure that they are seeing what is actually in stock and they're not out of food options by the time that they get there?
Yes, that's a great question. And we are still figuring out the logistics, but we've talked with food pantries to understand what is reasonable for them. And so based off our last conversation, they have volunteers already that keep track of the inventory that they have, but they do it more on a weekly basis. And so two things is on our end to make sure that we're continuing to communicate and make sure that we're aligned on the things that are in the pantry. But also two of the changes that we made was the first one, originally we wanted to have a specific count, like 5 broccolis left, but we realized after talking with users that that was going to be very difficult to maintain. So rather, it's a lot easier for someone to say we're out of something completely rather than have to keep counting. And then the last great feature that Sophia added was a indicator at the bottom that says when the last time that our inventory was updated. And so this way they can know if we were able to update it in the last 2 days, you have some awareness that it might be out now.
Got it. Thank you.
Oh, sorry, Cheryl, go ahead.
Probably more of a logistical thing. I loved the presentation. I loved the pitch. I might have missed, are you asking for a specific investment? And if so, like what would you mentioned some next steps, but what would your next specific steps be?
So our next specific steps would definitely be the actual coding portion of the app. And as a nonprofit, our plan is more so to get donations and grant proposals. But for operation costs and things like that, we would be using the funding for the actual business itself, as well as being able to further our app in the future directions.
Okay, thank you.
And what was the amount of money that you all were requesting?
We requested $80,000.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, I have one question. And this is just me thinking of like if I was given this project to design as a designer. I think one of the questions that I would have is, do we know for sure that everyone that will be able to access the app, right? In terms of, you have to have a certain amount of data, right, to be able to use the app. Is there anything around like, maybe there's an offline version or maybe a web portal version that, maybe that can be accessed by the people at a pantry so that when someone comes up and say, oh, they don't have what I want here, that they can go somewhere else. I think kind of like thinking about other ways that your key user can access the information, even if they don't have the ability to have a cell phone or to, be able to afford data for an app or, to run the app, outside of, not assuming tech access. Exactly.
Yeah, I love that suggestion. Sophia, do you want me to talk on it or would you like to step in for design? Okay.
You can speak on it.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's a great suggestion. We actually haven't discussed, we have discussed having a website version of the app. While having cell phones are a lot more common in these days, we do want to make sure that we have different ranges for accessibility, but we haven't discussed about an offline version. And I think that would be a great thing to add to our future directions. So thank you.
Additionally, too, something else we can leverage is our nonprofit partners. Nonprofits played a key role in Pantry Pal's development, and a lot of our pantries offer computer access. So even having a partnership with them where that access and the Pantry Pal can be connected or something of the sort would also be advantageous and from a programmatic and process implication point of view.
Yes, definitely.
I think, and I'm just looking at a consumer point of view and having a parent and you having a child, I think it's a beautiful idea. But the key words that are going to bring attention is not only the food items that you have that's going to bring attention, but if you mention hot Cheetos, everybody's going to get their attention. You're going to mention hot Cheetos, you're going to mention Frank's hot sauce or whatever the case may be. They're going to say, hey, this pantry is a little bit different than the other ones. So you only find key ingredients that the culture will understand, right? But you also provide not only a healthy means, but sometimes you're going to need some comfort food, right? And this also able to integrate it both at the same time. But personally, I think you'll sell out a lot more on hot Cheetos than you will on spinach.
Yeah, we definitely agree with that. While we want to push the healthy foods for the community, we know you got to have the snack foods in there too.
I did have one follow-up question, which was just I loved your insight about not logging in, and especially for folks who are disadvantaged, like location tracking, domestic abuse, and things like that. Did you come to a conclusion on whether or not login would be required to access your services?
Yeah, so the last time we talked about it, we did discuss that we were going to be creating an option where they do not have to log in. And actually in the onboarding, we didn't talk about it, but one of the other flows allows you to skip it. You just won't be able to directly use the geolocation. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you, ladies. You all did an incredible job. This was a phenomenal thought through app as well. For those of you who are viewing, please feel free to, again, submit your feedback if you love their storytelling, even down to just how they answered these questions. Please feel free to drop that in the form and let us know. Yeah, thank you all very much, ladies. And we're looking forward to seeing what comes from Pantry Pal.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
You're so welcome. You're so welcome. Okay, so we are going to take a short break for about 10 minutes. We do have about 5 other groups to go. If the Sharks still want to be here, because I know this is a little past time, we invite you to totally stay. But if not, if you have other engagements, feel free to hop on off. We are very thankful for the insights, just the love, the comments, and the support that you all have provided. But yes, we will be back at around 2:45, or if you are in different time zones, in the next 10 minutes. We'll be back and go live. Feel free to stretch your legs, get some coffee, or take a nice bio break. See you soon, everyone.
Thanks, Chanel.
You're welcome. All right. All right, fam. We are back. And I'm so thankful that you all are still rocking with us. I know, like I said earlier, we are a little bit delayed, but that is okay. I'm very grateful. We are going to have the next group come on up, and this is going to be group 7. We're very excited for group 7. Group 7, feel free to begin sharing your screen. We'll bring you up in just a moment. But yeah, excited. We're going to invite our sharks back up. Please make sure that you are, please, make sure that you are submitting your feedback, as that helps us with realizing and knowing who we want to choose or will be choosing as a winner. So, again, welcome back to the stage, Cheryl, Malik, and Anton. Fian had to hop for previous engagements, but that's okay. We are still riding strong. So, bringing on up Team 7 again. This is the lovely Jelena, Stephanie, Jadine, and also Miranda. Welcome to the stage, everyone.
Hi.
Hey. So before we share your screen, I see it is here. So before I bring it up to the stage, feel free to go ahead and introduce yourselves.
Hi, my name is.
It's okay. Feel free. Stephanie, you want to go first?
No, go ahead.
Okay.
All right. Hi, everyone. I am Janine Renee. I am a UX designer from Maryland with a background in elementary education.
Welcome. Stephanie?
Hi, my name is Stephanie. I have a background in education and healthcare, as I used to be a speech language pathologist.
Awesome.
I'll go next. Hi, my name is Jelena. I have a background in UX design. I'm looking to work as a design researcher, and nice to meet you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Miranda. I actually have a background in the music industry, but this is my first time really working with UX design, as it's something that I'm trying to transition into.
Awesome. Well, ladies, over to you. Feel free to go ahead and present.
Alrighty, so I'm going to start us off. So good afternoon, Sharks. My name is Stephanie, and I will be presenting, along with my team, our project we completed for Travel Unity, a website redesign. All UX designers, our team consists of myself, Janine, Jelena, Miranda, and Hadia, who couldn't be here today. We all contributed to both the research and design for this project, as we did not have a dedicated research team. So I want you to imagine you're a college student from an underrepresented background whose dreams of joining the travel industry were derailed due to the pandemic. What would you do? How would you feel? Perhaps you'd reach out to an organization to assist you. So luckily, that organization exists. Travel Unity helps diverse individuals break into the travel industry and further DEI initiatives within the travel industry. So Travel in Unity has a few goals, and they include 1, connecting community groups and individuals to travel and cultural and educational experiences through youth and collegiate programs. 2, to foster personal and professional growth. And 3, working with organizations to broaden their diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Upon meeting with Travel Unity, it became clear that the goals of this project were to evaluate the website's usability, as well as to evaluate the information-seeking behavior of college students on the website. With the help of the organization, we brainstormed this hypothesis. We believe that the lack of information hierarchy and clear messaging on the homepage led to a 76% bounce rate. So in knowing that, we proceeded to do some user research. We proceeded to define our problem space, and we conducted usability testing with 6 participants to uncover pain points within the homepage and the youth and collegiate programs. So we found that information overload was an issue. 5 out of 6 users found the information to be overwhelming. Secondly, we found out that users were not motivated to view the website. In general, users said that the design, the layout, and the colors were not very appealing. Third, we found that 5 out of 6 users had difficulty finding information and understanding the page content due to the layout and the typography. Fourth, the website really failed accessibility standards, such as the lack of appropriate contrast on the links. So this resulted in 4 out of 6 users struggling to access the information contained within these links. Lastly, 6 out of 6 users were unsuccessful at navigating through pages due to navigation not matching their expectations.
Upon conducting research, we synthesized our data and came up with our persona of Alex, a 21-year-old college student from New York City who's motivated to learn more about travel, finding an internship, networking, and reading content that attracts a diverse audience in general. Alex came across Travel Unity and she created 2 goals. The first was to learn more about the organization and what they offered, and the second was to discover student-targeted programs. So upon visiting the website, Alex shared her pain points of information overload on content-rich pages, the lack of motivation to continue exploring the website because of issues with the layout and design, i.e. the colors, the font, the white space, and confusion about the organization's purpose. So to emphasize Alex's pain point, she said that typically when she's on a website and she can't find what she's looking for within a minute, she closes it. Once we understood Alex's pain points and motivations, we came together as a team to create our problem statement to focus on finding a solution. So with our problem statement, we asked ourselves, how might we improve the page content and information hierarchy to decrease the bounce rates on the homepage and the use pages, while simultaneously increasing the discoverability of the youth and collegiate programs?
So we set out to solve our how might we statement with the redesign of the Travel Unity website. One of our first things to do was simplifying the navigation with easy to read labels as well as hover over menus. We also implemented enhanced discoverability of student programs as well as other audiences that Travel Unity caters to, which is the travel industry as well as their members, so that the user on the site can easily find what it is that they're looking for. And we also added in thoughtfully designed clickable buttons. We organized the layout of the website to highlight program-specific content and sections so that the user is not overloaded with general information. And we reworked the color theme and added in breadcrumbs throughout to help the user visually map out their journey of finding what it is on the website that they're interested in or are looking for. To show that, we have a video here that shows our prototype and how a user would have interacted with the website as it was designed before and how they would navigate it after we redesigned it. My name is Alex, and I'm currently on the hunt for ways to travel. I'm going to be graduating soon, and I've never really had the opportunity to travel just because of money costs and just not necessarily having the resources to be able to do so. But I have a friend who told me about this website called Travel Unity, and Travel Unity is a nonprofit organization that makes travel welcoming to everyone. You should be able to look at job marketplaces and other kind of programs that allow you to be able to travel in ways that you aren't able to. All of this information just seems to be so all over the place. And I honestly haven't looked at a website that's looked like this in a hot minute. There's a lot of information. It's not really organized well, and I don't really know what I'm looking at. All this text is all bunched together. I don't really know what it is that I'm looking for here, if I can even find what it is that I'm looking for. So I think I might try something else. After my last time looking at Travel Unity, I tried to find other websites, other organizations that had similar missions, similar resources, but I just couldn't find it. So I decided to go back on a Travel Unity website and see if maybe I could just find my way around. But it looks like they've redesigned the whole thing. Everything on the website now seems a lot more laid out in an organized way. It's so much easier to find where you need to go, and everything is a lot more interactive. And I really do appreciate that for what I'm looking for. So as a student, I'm going to look at the student programs. I'm no longer in high school. I'll be graduating from college soon, but that seems to fit my needs the most. So I'm going to look at their college programs. One of them is College Corps, which my school actually does have a program for that. So that seems right up my alley. I really do appreciate all this information and how it's easy to find. And now I think I'm ready to apply.
After creating our designs and prototypes, we conducted another round of usability testing to see what our impact was and found that we added value in 3 ways. The first is that we decreased the bounce rate on the homepage from 75.89% to 16.7%. So that's a very big decrease in the bounce rate. Our second way that we added value is that we simplified and condensed the navigation, which increased the discoverability rate by 25% for college programs. And the third way that we added value is we made page content more digestible and added information hierarchy, which led to a 100% success rate in users signing up for a student program. So I just wanted to say thank you to our team and to the organizations that help bring us here today. If anyone has any questions, we would love to hear it, and we would also love to hear your feedback.
Awesome. Thank you, ladies. Shark, take it away.
Is there anything, so first of all, like, great work. What a fantastic turnaround for this site. 100% success rates, that bounce rate, my awesome. I loved the methodical approach you took, and the breakdown of the research the research insights. This is different from some of the other projects because it's iterative on something that's existing. Is there more work that you want to do? Is there an investment you're looking for, and or with or without an investment, is there more improvement that you think that can be done to this site?
I'll answer. So I think working with organization, they really want to keep their same platform, which is they want to expand design to their membership. So that's like an investment would be allowing the organization to recruit people to also implement the design and coders. And we estimated that might be $4,000, $9,000, depending whether the software developers would be more or they could spare some time. Again, we volunteered our time, so we did this for free. But we would like to see the organization really be able to redesign their entire webpage as they would like it.
I thought the work was great and the redesign was awesome. I think I would, watching the presentation, I would have loved to see more of the before images, right? Of like what the website looked like, because that would help me see the problems that you found. To one, because I think just to also validate them, or say like, oh, if I could say again, I'm thinking more of if I presented this to my like design team, what would they questions they would ask, right? A lot of it would be like around like not necessarily why you made certain decisions, but to see the first version to then be able to say, oh, okay, this is definitely much better. Because even a lot of stuff that you didn't get to talk about, like the use of icons to help kind of like bring attention to certain features, or I saw that in certain places, moving away from the images and the way it was like an old style of website. So I think just highlighting more of the work that you guys did, right? And like saying like, here it was like this. And I think also starting to use that like design language in how you talk about your work will then make the project seem much more elevated, right? When you can start to say like, oh, we decided to use icons because that is better for recognition, or things like that. When you start to like use those kind of like design terms and that design language, it makes you just sound better, and it helps sell it, right? It helps that, and because like really at this point you're trying to sell the redesign, and that should invest in actually doing it and not just kind of having this prototype that you tested, right? I think also in the way you sell it, talking about how many people you tested it with, right? If you tested it with 5 people versus if you tested it with 50, if the diversity of the groups that you tested it with can help sell the idea to do the redesign.
And I liked the presentation a lot. Not only did I like the redesign, but again, just like Cheryl said, the numbers, right? The bounce rates really stuck out, right? That's going to be one of the key selling points. And more importantly, it's more user friendly, it's more approachable, right? And again, it is less boring. You have the attention where you have that's the the bounce rate, but include those type of numbers ahead of time so you can see and explain why it came instead of on the intent on the very end, because you also give them a journey path of the transition that Malik was talking about with the before and after, and that would be one of your very great key selling points. It was a good job.
Awesome. Well, thank you so very much, ladies. This is a phenomenal project and redesign as well. Looking forward to seeing what's to come with this investment as well. For those of you who are tuning in, this is Group 7. Feel free to go ahead and submit feedback for Group 7 in the Google form. Bye, ladies. All right. So we have next group, which is going to be Group 8. We have the awesome Brittany. We have Joshua. We are waiting on Shamika, and Shamika's here, and then Jay as well. So Josh, take it away. Feel free to begin introductions.
Hello, my name is Joshua Lee. I have a technical background in creating UX, UI designs. I'm truly passionate about video game design and retro gaming.
Awesome. Welcome to the stage. And Brittany?
Hi, my name is Brittany Campbell. I have worked in the nonprofit space and I have a background in sociology, and I have over 1 year of experience designing user interfaces, and I'm looking to gain full-time roles in UX design.
Hi, I'm Jay Sherelle Marshall, and I'm also part of the design group, and I'm a former fashion industry professional who is looking to transition into UX design.
And Shamika?
Hello, everybody. I hope you can hear me. I'm Shamika Klassen. I'm currently a doctoral student in information science, and I'm interested in getting into user experience research to advocate for marginalized voices in the design of digital products.
Awesome. So yeah, awesome. You all can feel free to begin sharing your screen with the present icon at the bottom. While they're doing that, feel free to tell us a little bit about your project. Brittany, you want to kick us off?
So,
Oh, or Josh, that's fine.
okay. Hello, MMC Sharks. My name is Joshua Lee. I am one of the leads of the UX digital narrative. Today, we'll be presenting our project, the Human Gachi, the wellness gamification application. And we are asking for 250,000 to invest in our project. And so today, our team will be discussing the project in detail, and we'll be welcoming any questions that you may have about it. All right.
Awesome. Take it away.
So next slide. So today you will get to know the research team, the design team, the problem that we're looking to solve, and how we're looking to solve that problem with the Human Gachi application, and also the process of the research team and the prototype that the design team was able to create, and also the pitch. The team.
So I'm Shamika Klassen, as I mentioned, the lead for the research group and co-lead of the UX Digital Narrative team. I prioritize meeting tasks and agendas to organize the group's time and working synchronously to streamline productivity. I also process requirements for deliverables to ascertain expected outcomes and exceed requested outputs. The research group was composed of Michelle Gabriel, our scheduler, Sharifa Jones, the project coordinator and liaison, and our note takers, Ashley Wilson and Sal Nakwali.
And my name, Joshua Lee, and I was the lead for the design team. And I use pretty much the Kanban board to conduct weekly sprints for our team. And this is our team.
Hi, it's me, Jay, again, and I was the scheduler, and my job as the scheduler was to help schedule all the meetings between the group and also to schedule meetings with our design mentors from Microsoft.
D'Amber Watson was our project coordinator and / liaison.
Hi, my name is Brittany Campbell, and I was the note taker for the group, basically taking notes of our meetings, and Brandon Walls was the note taker as well.
So here's the problem we wanted to solve. During the pandemic, the health of young adults diminished from mental health to physical health. In 2020, 52% of youth aged 13 to 29 reported that they were less physically active compared to pre-pandemic times, while 33% reported no physical activity and 25% were less than 1 hour a week physically active. In 2021, more than a third of high school students reported they experienced poor mental health during the COVID-19 pandemic, and 44% reported they persistently felt sad or hopeless during the past year. Concurrently, mobile gaming has increased since the pandemic, as 70% of gamers around the world are spending more time and longer sessions on mobile games. M-Health, or mobile health technologies, provide effective interventions for improving mental health and healthy habits while reducing the need to see health practitioners in person. Combined with gamification and rewards, M-Health interventions can be engaging and successful. Because 95% of young adults age 18 to 29 have smartphones, 19% of smartphone owners use apps expressly about health, and mobile health technologies are used by young adults more than any other age group, our proposed solution is a wellness and gaming app. So here's our project where we're introducing Human Gotchi. This is an app rooted in the mobile gaming and health and wellness industry for iOS phones and watches, wherein young adults are encouraged to create an avatar, such as picking skin tone, hairstyle, clothing, etc., and track their health-related decisions that they make, such as drinking water, fitness, mood tracking, and more. Desiring to take a holistic approach to health and wellness in the app, our team is proposing to implement an underlying framework in the app based on the 6 components of deep health: physical, emotional, environmental, relational, existential, and mental. The research group created a research plan that included a summary of the problem statement, the purpose of the research, the methods we wanted to employ, and a timeline for our research. Here's a bit more information about the research that we conducted. We began with a competitive analysis of apps in the market that share similarities to the one we wanted to craft. Here are some of the apps we used for the SWOT analysis, or strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats analysis, as well as that competitive analysis. Our team utilized Miro to synthesize the findings and identify trends across the data we found in both interviews and usability tests. In the usability testing, we used a lo-fi prototype, and our team also utilized Miro to find trends among user delights, pain points, and expectations for the low fidelity prototype. What we found through our research was that M-Health apps are ideal for young adults. Many participants think holistically about their health. Not everyone plays mobile games regularly, but there are desired features from everyone regardless. And even a lo-fi version of the app allowed the personality and tone to shine through, which participants appreciated.
Next, we will talk about the prototype and also the team's contributions. As a design lead, I facilitated weekly meetings to talk about deliverables, update goals, and also talk about opportunities for improvement of our application. I also collaborated with the research team to develop a plan to create a minimal viable product, or MVP, for the scope of our project. I also provided additional assistance to the design team members that needed help completing tasks.
As a group, we translated our ideas for the app into the sitemap and then lo-fi wireframes with prototyping. We then shared those insights with the research team. I was mainly responsible for hi-fi wireframes and prototyping.
So one of the things that I did with the group is that I worked on some of the things in the previous slide, which were the lo-fi wireframes that were drawn out by hand. And I also organized the setup, our navigation of the app, the information architecture of the app in the sitemap that we completed in Miro. And then I also worked with Brandon to come up with a typography using Google Fonts and a color palette using happy hues and coolers to create something that was stylistically aesthetically pleasing for our youthful demographic, which is like, young adults and college-aged adults. And I also worked with Brittany and Figma to create a sticker sheet or a UI design kit, or basically the design system that we used with the project.
Brandon's contribution was to create a avatar customization for our prototype that allowed users to customize the hairstyle, the eyes, the skin tone, and the clothing of the avatar. Thanks to our collective work, we would like to present to you the Human Gotchi, the gamification wellness application.
So we do have a lot of screens. So on the advice of our team lead and the research team lead, we had to speed it up.
Yes, so just give me one moment.
So here is the onboarding process. I created the anime gradients. I'm responsible for the hi-fi prototyping. And here is the customization. You can choose eyes, hair, and shortly you'll see outfits as well. And then here is the hi-fi menu selection. We can choose different trackers, and here's the exercise tracker. And you can choose what body part and what days you want to exercise, the reps, and you can also name the exercise as well. And then you can add that to your fitness journal as well. Here is the date and time. And here's the goal tracker. You can name your goals, set the date you want your goal to be achieved, and you can choose the time, and also have a congratulatory screen when you finish your goal.
So now we want to pitch why you should invest in Human Gotchi. When it comes to mobile gaming, by investing in Human Gotchi, you'll be entering a $20.3 billion industry. And in health and wellness, the pandemic has changed the world as we know it. By financially supporting this app, you'll be doing your part to make it a better place for our young people. You can connect with us on LinkedIn, and here are our LinkedIn QR codes. We appreciate your time and attention, and we'll gladly take any questions you all may have.
Awesome. So yeah, Sharks, over to you.
I want to say, because I know Cheryl's going to have some interesting questions and going to say something. I'm all excited about that to hear about the group. But I love the idea with the app. But I think that this is a great starting foundation template for metaverse and for virtual reality, because that's where we're targeting and we're going towards. And as you go into the metaverse and be more virtual reality, what you have with the Quest and everything else right now, I think this app will be a little bit more needed with them than it will with the mobile app itself. But the transition is there, right? And I think this is a great avenue for where it can go and where it can be, because I even like the name Yumatachi is pretty good. I love it.
So I think that there's a place for it in the metaverse and on multiple platforms. So a couple of my questions. One of them was, have you considered integration with personal devices like wearables and things like that? I mean, that might be part of your investment strategy, maybe near term, but manually set goals are one thing, but it's a lot easier to keep the system hydrated if you can plug into like Apple Health or something like that, and having the ability to set and mark goals on something like a smartwatch could really open up engagement with the app. Is that something you've talked about or is in your plan?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that was something that we were going to do, but we, with time and working with the MVP, we didn't really have time to design an Apple Watch app. So we stuck to the iPhone and said if we had more time, we would integrate into more devices.
Awesome.
Yes.
And I know we had another team who is also in a similar space, and I'll ask a similar question, which is like, so motivation to continue to use the app. It's kind of a secret sauce, as I know you know, Joshua, like the elements of instant feedback. Did you get a chance to evaluate how you mentioned that the tone came through in your testing? Can you talk a little bit more about how people felt when they achieved the goals, or specific design decisions you made that made people feel like they wanted to continue?
Yes, absolutely. As a researcher on the team, I was able to conduct the usability testing as well as interviews. And when people saw even the low fidelity prototype, some of the decisions that we made in the tone and the kind of messaging we used when someone completed a goal or when they entered onto a screen, there was a kind of a fun, sort of pithy way that we approached those screens that even with the low fidelity prototype, people responded well to those things. So we believe that combined with the high fidelity prototype design that we were able to achieve, those things would allow users to want to come back to the app, would want to come back and enter their mood or enter their workout and keep them coming back to do those things.
And another thing that we discussed with the design team discussed with our mentor was that if we had more time, we would create a community feature where people could add friends and gain badges and things like that would motivate them to also want to come back to the app.
Thank you.
Awesome. Well, thank you, wonderful ladies and gents. This is phenomenal.
Thank you so much.
Of course, of course. For those of you who are viewing, please feel free to go ahead and submit feedback. And this is group 8. Talk about like their game design and also the wonderful way that they went ahead and answered these beautiful questions. Until next time, thank you all.
One quick question. What was the investment asked for?
$250,000. That was for paying for researchers, testers, and software designers.
Great, thank you.
All right. Have a good one, everyone. Thank you so much. All right. So now we're on to the next group, group 8. I'm going to go ahead. I'm sorry, group 9. I'm going to go ahead and bring them on up. First, we have Bianca. We have OB. We have Paige, Kai, Danielle, and Candace. Welcome, welcome. Oh, and Amara, sorry. Hello. All right, ladies. So feel free to go ahead and introduce yourself as you all are bringing up your shared screen. Kai, did you want to start?
Sure. Hello, I'm Kai Mills. I am currently working as a graphic designer, and I am looking to pivot into UX UI design, and I'm happy to be here.
Awesome. Welcome.
Thank you.
And Paige?
Hi, everyone. I'm Paige Brianna Hall. I am an evaluation researcher with a background in public health research and program planning, and I'm looking to transition into UX research.
Awesome. And over to Bianca.
Hello, I am Bianca Cherry. I have a background as a design manager, and I'm on the design team as the lead. I am interested in the tech industry and just building so many skills in UX.
Awesome. Danielle.
Hi, everyone. I'm Danielle Connor. I'm coming with a background in healthcare and health services research, and I'm interested in using those transferable skills in the UX field. Nice to meet you.
Awesome. And Candace?
Good afternoon. My name is Candace Moses. I also have a background in public health research as well as data analysis. I, too, am looking to transition into a UX research role almost in any industry. My interests are very broad, to be honest.
Awesome. And Amara?
Hi, everybody. My name is Amara Mitchell. I have a background in psychology and child development, and I am transitioning into user research. So excited to be here with you all.
Awesome. Welcome. And Obiama.
Hello, everyone. My name is Obianmo Okani. I have a background in the pre-medical sciences and human resources, and I'm looking to transition into the data analysis space.
All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and share your screen. Go ahead, ladies. Feel free. Take it.
All right, greeting judges and Mentor Me Collective cohort. We are Team 9 designers and researchers, and we will be presenting our product proposal and UX case study on our Safe Sailing travel app, assisting women of color traveling abroad with travel resources focused on safety and insights related to their demographic.
Yes, so for our app, we are asking for an 80K investment, which will be split between development as well as advertising costs. Again, our team will be presenting on our app and welcome any questions that you may have. Although we did do an introduction to each of us, just calling out the people on the research team, we have Amara, myself, Danielle, Obianama, and Paige.
Yes, and on the design team, we have myself and Kai Mills. So a quick project overview. Safe Sailing is an app that provides tools to discover a safe space to find and share advice, insights, and resources when traveling abroad. Travelers can also create and share a custom itinerary and plan a trip based on their budget. Our target audience is Black, Indigenous, and people of color, focusing on women. And we focused on Apple and iOS products. The impact our project made was that 5 out of 6, or 83% of usability testing participants said they would use our app frequently. Travel apps are very valuable. The revenue of travel apps are projected to reach $333.4 million in 2022. We also have many roles and tasks applied to this project as a team, along with a few challenges and project limitations down the road. However, we were able to contribute to many accomplishments, such as 4 interviews, 6 usability test participants, 5 iterations, 10 meetings within 12 weeks, 75 screens designed, and 53 survey participants.
So we knew it was imperative that we did our background research on women in the travel industry. So that was where our first step began. And we found that although women account for the largest number of hotel website visits when booking trips, Black women specifically were less likely to have traveled abroad. Lastly, we also found that the majority of women who have never traveled cited fear of safety as a limiting factor and would actually be more likely to travel solo if joining a women's only tour. This helped to inform our problem statement and how our app could be the solution. Next slide.
In addition to this data, we also found that participants from our survey ranked the importance of safety while traveling a 4.88 out of 5. And this helped us to create an app that would build the confidence of women of color while traveling abroad, while also connecting them to resources that would support them in safety, community, and cost while traveling.
So for our project, we interviewed 4 Black women, all having some experience with solo traveling. We created an interview guide that was aimed to adjust their experiences, thoughts, and concerns, all centered around traveling solo as a Black woman. Our user group confirmed our initial assumptions about safety concerns, but they also revealed other concerns such as their desire to still feel connected, their struggles with other resources on the market, and what their perfect resource would look like to them. All of this information led to our key insights for our product. We wanted to prioritize features such as 1, community sharing with different forms of media. This includes pictures, videos, and reviews on different destinations and experiences. 2, some type of chat concierge to stay connected, and access to other Black travel planners while planning their trips. And 3, their ability to share their itinerary with whomever they give access to just in case of emergencies. We also wanted to prioritize providing information that was up to date, given all of the lovely changes the pandemic has brought to us, and has a streamlined design that's easy to use and search through for exactly what our travelers need.
So in addition to the user interviews, we also conducted a survey. For the 2 weeks that our survey was open, we received a total of 53 respondents. Of that 53, 41 were self-identified Black and minority women, which again is our target demographic for our app. Our survey contained questions that were both qualitative and quantitative in nature. On the slide, we have the results of the quantitative questions. However, the qualitative results did inform things like the creation of our user personas and other aspects of the app development process. Highlighting a few pieces of data here on the slide, of the 41 women, both cost and safety were ranked pretty highly when considering a new travel destination. 27 of the 41 have used travel tools before, so they're already familiar with apps and websites and things of that nature. 68% have traveled solo before. And lastly, 28 of the 41 travel 2 to 4 times a year. So we do have some pretty frequent flyers that our app would be a great addition to their experience.
With this app, we hope to serve a wide variety of travelers. As you can see from our personas, we've gotten participants who have not traveled before, meaning that this would be their first travel experience, such as Grace James, a college student studying abroad, as opposed to Hannah Jones being an avid traveler, traveling up to 10 times a year. But we hope to keep safety, cost, and satisfaction as the central focus.
Using the pain points identified by the research team, Bianca and I were able to create some user flows based on the user needs. Displayed are the flows showing how one would navigate through the onboarding process, search the community for travel resources, and create an itinerary based on specific travel budget and goals. The top flow is a high-level overview of the full app. The bottom left one shows the creation of a custom itinerary, and the bottom right flow is the flow of booking a trip using a budget feature to curate to specific needs. After the user flows were created, we then began using them to prototype. We began with quick sketches and that were then developed into digital wireframes that were then provided to the research team for user testing.
So next, the research team performed usability testing with the prototype from the design team. We asked 6 participants to complete 4 tasks within the app, and we measured times to complete each task, which ranged from 10 seconds to 194 seconds. We measured conversion rates, which measures the success of completing each task, and we also used a modified usability testing skill to learn, explore user opinions about the app. On our next slide, we have a summary of feedback, including how some participants said it was easy for them to use the app, and several appreciated multiple options when creating an itinerary or exploring the community. However, other participants struggled with booking a trip or creating an itinerary. So we identified pain points for these areas and shared them with the design team.
After receiving feedback from usability testing, myself and Kai were able to make many iterations to our prototype. Highlighted here is one iteration focusing on the My Trip screen when booking a trip. Within our original layout, participants were confused on navigating where to go to plan or book a trip. As a potential solution, we revised the appearance and text of the Plan New Trip button to add a trip. We also included additional options to navigate this screen with a search and filter option. The belief is that adding text labels to accompany icons can provide clarity and increase usability. The fear is that this can conflict with Hick's law. Adding more choices to navigate could take a longer time making a decision. Choosing a widely accepted pattern in the additional navigation options and appearance of our call to action button could potentially create a better solution.
So now I'll present to you a brief example of the final design, beginning with the screen on the left that shows the onboarding for a first-time user. It loads with the logo screen and then introduces the user to key features of the app, which are connecting with a community of like-minded travelers, sharing and gaining different insights about travels, and assistance creating itineraries based on specific travel goals and needs. Next, the screen on the right is an overview of the app's 3 primary pages, beginning from the dashboard or user profile, which displays 3 options to either view itineraries, view trips, or explore the community. Beginning with exploring the community, which allows you to search specific names or keywords, connect with friends who are currently on the app, explore recent posts, popular users, or browse by category. And then onto the itinerary page, where you can create a new itinerary, search your previous itineraries, or browse and share other users' itineraries that they have uploaded. And then the trips page, where you can view your upcoming trips, book a new trip, or book a previous trip.
Learnings and next steps. We learned how to collaborate cross-functionally with researchers and designers and understood basic UI fundamentals. Then discovered the need for a safe and inclusive travel app for women of color. We implemented a wide range of technical and additional training from tools such as Miro and Figma to prototyping, usability testing, interviewing, and mixed methods data analysis. Next steps would be to place more attention into the user experience of the Explore the Community feature, user testing of an updated prototype, implement additional iterations, and of course, launch our app with continued observation of user data and feedback implementation. Thank you for your time learning more about our UX case study and proposal on the Safe Sailing Travel app. Feel free to connect with our team, and thank you so much for your time.
Awesome. So yeah, feel free, Sharks, if you have any questions for these lovely ladies and their travel app.
I love the concept, especially as like social networks start to fragment. This kind of stuff is really important, as you mentioned, with safety. Two questions. One of them is around like the core business model. Where do you feel like your primary driver would be for keeping this thing sustainable? Is it charging your customers? Is it charging travel partners in the back end? What do you have a perspective yet on that?
Our possible perspective would be charging customers or partnering with additional partners within the travel industry in order to make our product more sustainable.
Great, thank you. The other question I had was on the book a trip stuff specifically, because I see so much value in like the sharing information about which hotels are safe, which regions are safe. And then there's this incredible complexity when it comes to actually becoming a travel site and all the customer service burden that comes with like supporting someone who's actually on a trip. Do you think that your idea would still hold water if you weren't able to get the travel booking portion off the ground, or is the travel booking core to the idea?
I would say the travel booking wouldn't be super core to the idea. Our main valuable feature would be the Explore the Community feature, so that minority women would feel a sense of community when traveling abroad, being able to share insights about their experiences, and the other safety component with the itinerary feature, where not only you can customize it, but you can share it with your loved ones if you are traveling abroad via a PDF or JPEG, or being able to give them access via email or text.
Makes sense. Thank you.
I really love the idea. Safety for Black women has increased, and we really need it today. I have three questions. I love the UI fundamentals. Is this app also able to be on smart wearables like watches? Like, so if they do fly solo, or they do travel solo, or they travel in different groups, is this app maybe give them a chance to check in to let them know that they're okay or that they're safe?
I think the idea would be that ideally we would be able to design it for Apple Watches and other devices, and that it would give everyone, regardless of which device you use, the opportunity for you as someone who's being shared their itinerary to know if someone's checked in by following their itinerary.
Okay, all right, that sounds good. Also, can this also, with this app with the travel itinerary, can it also be connected to Homeland Security to let them know about other countries and what to be warned them about, or any incidents has happened before their itinerary comes or during the flight, so they'll know when they get off the plane what to be careful of or what's going on to update them through their travels?
That's actually a really great idea. I think we did look into it when we did a competitor analysis.
Okay.
We didn't go as far as implementing it into our designs and user flows, but it is a great idea to consider.
Okay. And one more question, because I think everybody who has traveled has experiences. Maybe there's a possibility to have a back implement plan of a passport card or the passport numbers in case someone loses their passport. It's already into the database to connect with the embassy of whether continental or wherever they travel, so they have no problems coming back to the States.
That's another great idea. I think there is an app, we looked into our competitor analysis, by the government, in which you would be able to enroll into a STEM program that expresses the same sentiments that you just shared, I think it would be valuable to implement that into our product as well.
Right, because I think will also help as well with the United States global entry, because that way that if you do come across that you do lose your passport, you still have that app that you can bypass the customs, U.S. customs, if you pay the extra rate. What they had, what it was like the clear card or what the case may be. But there's also a U.S. global entry that you bypass U.S. customs, and in case you lose your passport, you can already have your smart wearable, right, where you can either use your watch or your phone, because sometimes, unfortunately, sometimes our items get stolen, right? So you also have that on that database. Say, hey, I'm not worried about it. The app already know, and things are being processed as we speak to get me back to the States.
Wow.
Thank
Those are really great points, Antoine. Antoine, that was phenomenal. And thank you, ladies, so very much for answering those questions so clearly and succinctly.
Can I
So-
also just really briefly compliment on the presentation, because I know also a lot of this stuff is going to be portfolio material for folks. And as a hiring manager, there was a lot of stuff that was really great here, like the executive summary up front on the project overview slide. You'll tune in which pieces of information are most useful up front, but like the iterations piece where you showed very clearly like what was done before and after, pros and cons. I love to see that stuff because it shows that you can pivot on unexpected information and change, because that's just as important as for a designer. Getting it right the first time is not as important as being able to listen to the customers and change. So great job.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. So yeah, ladies, have a wonderful rest of your Saturday. We have one last final group coming on up. This is group 10. We're going to go ahead and bring them on up, but we do wish you all a wonderful rest of your day. Make sure everyone, please feel free to submit your feedback. Again, I know I've been saying that like a beaten horse. But bye, Danielle. We would love for you to just get your insights there, okay? So yeah, we're going to bring up PJ, Ama, Julene, Melissa, and Micah, the last and final group of presentations today, group 10. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you.
So feel free to begin sharing, and as you all begin to share, I am going to start off with introductions. Julene, do you want to start with introductions?
Yeah, my name's Julene. I come from a clinical pharmacy background, and I'm interested in product design and research within health tech and fintech industries. I'm interested in product design and research
I
within.
am hearing feedback, so if you all are viewing YouTube and also in the StreamYard, it will coincide and we'll hear that feedback. So if you guys can just mute the stream on YouTube, that would be great. But I'm going to pass it on over to Melissa.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining and for listening to what we prepared for you today. So my name is Melissa, and I come from a cognitive psychology, like music cognition background. More of a research background, but I also have that creative side, and excited to share what we've come up with today.
Awesome. And Ama?
Hi everyone, my name is Alma. I come from a government and legal background. I have an interest in UX research and also website making, and so I'm really excited to be here. And so I hope you guys like what you came up with.
Awesome. And PJ?
I'll go next. Hi everyone, I'm Ida and I have a background in application development. I'm in the process of making a pivot into UX and I'm excited to be here.
Hi, I'm Micah and I'm in fashion design and I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to learn a role in UX research.
Okay. Hi, I'm PJ. I have a background in clinical psychology and I am trying to pivot into UX research.
Awesome. So feel free to begin sharing your screen. There's a little icon at the bottom that says present. And yeah, you all can take it away. While I'm not sure who.
Samina?
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Samina has some audio issues, so she'll be speaking from the phone if you can hear her, but she'll be presenting as well pretty soon.
I don't hear her. You said she's going to be on the phone?
Yes, I'm going to have her on audio so that she can present as well. I'll let you guys know.
Okay, no worries. I do see your screen here, Julene. Feel free to begin presenting.
Okay. Alrighty.
Yeah, it looks good.
Okay, so we are researching and design 10. I don't know if everyone else can hear an echo. I hear an echo. I don't know if someone needs to turn off something. Okay, I'll just keep going. So the statistics show that 25% of Black Americans get therapy versus 40% of white people who get therapy. And globally, well, nationally, more than 19 million Americans are struggling with depressions. And when it comes to Black people, we are overrepresented in this number. From the research that we've done, that people in America have experienced community-wide trauma that needs to be experienced to be fully understood. And Black people have gone to therapy. Many that we've spoken to or people that we've seen talking about their experiences online. And they feel as though their providers were not culturally competent. Others have had access issues because therapists, finances have been a barrier, and also availability of cultural competent therapists in their areas have also been an area. So our aim with this website is to provide clients with culturally competent therapists that are accessible to them, that understand their lived experiences with race and other aspects of their marginal identities, such as gender, sexuality, and disability status. And our aims for this research are to develop an understanding of user environments and to uncover any barriers that clients are encountering when they're seeking help. We also wanted to give a deeper understanding of the user's motivations to help them utilize mental health resources and wellness resources as well. We wanted to understand their expectations when it comes to mental health and wellness and their understanding of those that are already existing. And we also wanted to uncover their needs specifically.
Apps based on market research and user interviews. Those are being performed simultaneously. And we analyzed specifically onboarding, main page features, what each platform was addressing, strengths and weaknesses in order to build on top of what's already available out there. And we created we organized the information in order to identify any trends or opportunities of growth that we can build on. From there, we were able to recruit 25 participants through Slack channels, social media, work, referrals. And this population we were targeting was between 18 to 53-year-old Black African American women or non-binary. And then we conducted interviews in person or virtually. Within this interview, we were trying to identify mental health and wellness and how that's defined in this population, current solutions that are being used, pain points within assessing these resources, and understanding motivations and culture. From there, we were able to synthesize the information by using Miro as a collaborative tool, where we were able to identify any trends that we were seeing by affinity mapping. From there, we also created personas to identify who our user really is. Can everyone hear me?
Could hear now can you hear me? So that is better.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Oh, Amma can't hear anything. Okay, I'm going to put it back up. Amma, are you there? Okay, she got disconnected. Okay, so with our personas, we were able to identify the needs of our user, any challenges they experienced, and any barriers they experience. And through discussing these trends, we were able to identify three main commonalities between all of our personas, which were they all wanted sense of community, they wanted quality and care, and they wanted a safe escape in these moments of stress and sadness or anytime they're feeling alone. So some quotes we got from these users were, I just want to see someone that will see me and understand me. Another one, sleep takes me to a dream world away from all the chaos in my life. And how can I fill everyone else's cup when my cup is empty? And these were really important to pull that emotional aspect of it and understand our user fully. So how do we go about providing that to our user? We also noticed that a UI concept was needed in order to create that familiarity for the user.
So with that concept, we wanted to present the vibe, the aesthetics, pretty much the aura of the app and pretty much the mobile website, so that it can distinguish us from our competition. We came up with the name, which is Hue Therapy, which is really great, catchy for a product. The logo is some form of like a triangular form. In a way to just collaborate and connect with one another. The color palettes was pretty much brown, hues of brown that would exemplify us as a Black person. And overall, the theme of the app when you use it is just to be elegant, intriguing, to find yourself, and to be in a positive and safe mental space. Passing that on to the next person.
Unmute. Hello. Hello. Hey everyone, thank you, Amma, for that again. This is the design part of the Hue Therapy. So for the design, we figured we'd have a community-based outlet for the team, for the community, and a therapist reviews for real people, because a lot of the times there's that lack of trust via online, social media, and things like that. And to have a community forum to post, to read, to save content posts, just to have that social media element to the presentation for our audience to be safe and just very much communicate with everybody thoroughly.
All right, so with our visual design, like Amma mentioned, we went for more of like a brown hue color scheme, just because we felt that it really aligned with our demographic and also just represented us really well. And the color brown is also known for being a very grounding, very nurturing, and safe color. So that's the type of experience that we wanted to create within our site. Also, in terms of usability and accessibility, we really strived for accessible fonts. So we did a lot of research to ensure that we used fonts that people wouldn't really have any issues with, especially given the dynamic of our website too. A lot of people are usually referring to our website and going to our website in times of stress and times of need as reference. to get aid and resources to help with, mental health and mental wellness. We wanted to just make sure that people were able to have a very easy and efficient time navigating our app. And our overall approach, honestly, was just to create a very simple and easy to use UI, and to simplify the whole process. And through user feedback, we also were able to really just sorry, I'm just went blank for a bit, but we were able to really just confirm that the approach that we took was in alignment with what they wanted to see in the site. And that's kind of what we went for with the overall aesthetic in terms of just keeping it nice, simple, clean, and easy to use.
And I can talk about the copy and the landing page because they're intertwined to each other. So the goal for our copy overall throughout the site is to really empower the user. So in user experience copy, one of the goals is to let the user know where they can go, let them know what they can do, and really compel you to action. But we had an additional goal that in the case of our website, we want you as the user to be in control of your experience. This was really important since due to the user research, a lot of users had mentioned that they feel stressed and stigmatized in their day-to-day life. So what they're looking for is that safe escape. So here on the landing page, we kept the visuals very clean and simple and tranquil. These are words direct from the mouth of our users, resonate with their needs. The last thing that they want is to be stressed out finding information when their stress is the reason why they're seeking for therapy and community. Also, in the two hands reaching, we're really emphasizing here that your strength doesn't come from trying to do it all alone, doesn't come from trying to conquer your challenges by yourself, but rather your inner strength is coming from a strong community. So this mental health community is for you and it's by you. Privacy is huge on the minds of many of our users. They've had negative experiences where their data is being used without their consent or just without their general knowledge. And so they want to be part of a safe, locked community. When we talk about safety, we're not only talking about data safety, we're talking about psychological safety. So one of the key elements to our site is that it is locked until you give your information as regards to what you're interested in. And you can choose to hide it, of course, from the view of others. But this community is only viewable once you have signed up and once everyone else has signed up. And that kind of protects you from that outside world and gives you that sense of safety. I'll pass it back to Ida to talk about the process of finding therapists.
Yeah, so for the process of finding therapists, we wanted to make it really easy. And we created a kind of like map-like navigation system where users are able to just enter the location, whether that's a zip code or a city, and it'll be able to just pinpoint all the local therapists that are in their area. We also implemented a filtering system that would be composed of really popular search topics or titles and things like that. So people are able to click specific specialties and kind of narrow it down there. And then it would just populate based off of the region and also just like the area that the people are in, and would help them just find a more tailored therapist to what they're hoping to get help for and things like that. And then moving on to the therapist page. So once the user clicks onto the therapist page, it would take them to the overall page for the therapist where they're able to learn more about the therapist. We wanted to just make sure that all the information was provided, that we're very transparent with the therapist, and so that they feel comfortable too. We make sure that they're licensed. We would have a system in place that would help to kind of verify that these therapists are legit and somebody that the users are able to reference and go to in need of help. And the therapists that we do have listed on our site are therapists that are very empathetic and culturally competent as well, because given the nature of our app, it is a bit difficult to find therapists that can relate to their experiences and kind of similar walks of life. So yeah. And then lastly, we have the reviews. We felt that it's really great for users to see what other people have experienced with these same therapists and see if that's an experience that they would like to have, and also just to share their own experience with others. And we just want to create a lot of transparency within the system. Originally, we were trying to do like a star rating system, but we decided to go against that and go with a more transparent approach, just so everybody is able to kind of view each and every therapist with a very neutral perspective. So we just wanted to provide that resource to people as well, just so that they feel more comfortable going to these specific therapists and being super vulnerable with them.
Thank you, Ida. So going into the usability testing, back to the reason why the many platforms already out that have issues is because it is very busy. It's very wordy and it's very heavy. There's a lack of buttons. So we decided to do usability testing to see how our buttons would work in real life. So I decided to do 2 in-person and 2 remote moderated tests just to see specifically how their behaviors were in real life, what type of mannerisms manifest during these types of navigations. I did lead by a task scenario just to put a in-person depth of how they would go about in a mental crisis, because a lot of the times they're in a mental crisis going through these navigations and they can't find buttons to go find this immediate help. You can go to the next slide. So a few deliverables I wanted to make sure was to make sure if the landing page was easy to access, make sure that the buttons were there. And there, in fact, was a reaction to that. They actually was able to go in through all of the community forums, the profile settings, and the landing page to get that immediate help they needed. And it actually was interesting to see that they had a liking to the safety of the site. So they kept scrolling more because they saw that there was a safety badge. And a lot of the defined path that we're expecting it to go, it went totally well. They were able to go fluidly without any stops, without any digressions that cause them to go out of finding that immediate help they need. And was it difficult using the app during the crisis? It was not. It was actually thorough with the buttons. Because of the buttons, they were actually able to flow through the app very easily. Go to the next slide. So just by finding out during the usability test, there was a lot of unique reviews, specifically on the affirmations profile. There was a participant who actually, she has a work-based medical app that she uses, but one thing that she says was interesting was that there was affirmations in the profile settings that allowed her to express her affirmations, her goals, and she was, so that she wasn't able to over exaggerate who she is. And one thing that was very a requirement that was needed was the subtopics, the For You pages. You can go to the next page. The For You pages were very demanding, actually, because when you go through the forum, they were like, you know, where would I find the singing bowls, the ASMR, where would I find those type of topics? And it was just interesting to see that when they would click a For You, there would be more in-depth topics of that, so they can find their types of role models or aspiration leaders they look for in these types of designs and such. And that's youth therapy. That's our goal as youth therapists, to make sure that it's easy for Black women and non-binary people to get the help that they need immediately and safely. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Sharks.
All right. Well, thank you, ladies. This is wonderful. Sharks, take it away.
I know you probably heard us ask this question. First of all, thank you for the presentation. And it's just so exciting to see so much energy around mental health this whole session. And so this question is one we've asked a couple of other groups, but like when we talk about the therapy, the therapists and the search engine, have you given any thought to where the data might be coming from for your app?
When you say the data, do you mean which therapist would be showing up?
Yeah, the source of all the therapists, their information, like their address, what their insurance companies, etc. Because it's either you're kind of proposing that your company would go and build that all from scratch, or you're proposing that there's a source out there that you would go and ingest. And I'm curious if you folks kind of have that on your radar yet.
Thank you for that question, because we did talk with our mentor about that and mentioned that you do find sometimes that the information is not up to date. And so one of the considerations was actually having the therapist involved. So originally, because this is community driven, right, the idea was, well, you go to other places and you only get the therapist side of things. And so we initially were focused on, well, community members can vouch that, yeah, indeed, this person is I found this person to be culturally competent, but then we realized we still do need to involve the therapist to make sure that the logistical information, the address is accurate. So we would need kind of those three things, the third being moderators and someone to maintain and be checking. So self-reported information from users, right? Like if a link is broken, the therapist provides some of their own information as well, and then some moderation and maintenance. Those were the solutions we arrived on. That's also why we had an option to put a link, a therapist could put a link to their homepage. There's a lot of time therapists already have their own homepage where you can get a sense for their mission and so on.
Thank you. The other question I had was because there was a note in the research findings that people were able to complete tasks successfully in crisis. Did you actually conduct like usability testing with folks who were actively in a mental health crisis?
Yes, ma'am, I was. She actually had her father pass. She was actually grieving, I'm sorry. And she was willing to still be able to take this test, and she was able to navigate it smoothly so that she was able to get that help that she needed right away. So that was very interesting to watch. That was also an in-person test as well.
Thank you for
so I got to see her behavior.
I believe that you have a very strong support app that will help out Black women and minorities. I also see that this is a very good avenue for other apps to be attracted and navigate towards this youth therapy app. Like, for example, like using Clubhouse or Talkspace to prevent, or not prevent, to bring up the conversation of bringing the app forward. And also being a part of something like meetup.com, where if some people are not feeling comfortable coming in individually, they just want to be around the group to talk and to navigate about their feelings and seeing the support system around them. You know what I mean? So because also dealing with a therapist, that's a good side of it, right? But also when they hear someone talking in Clubhouse or they come out and see someone on meetup.com, it makes them more comfortable. And there also can be some therapists there to talk to them individually, right? Say for us over coffee, to then give them more comfortable about the youth therapy app. And I think this will be a good avenue for it.
Yeah, I totally agree. Plus one to Anton and also to Cheryl. And ladies, thank you also very much for taking a candid approach on how we can continue to support women and just people in general when it comes to creating a better space for mental health and also making it more easily accessible. So yeah, thank you very, very much. Again, everyone, please submit feedback on behalf of this.
Thank you. And I wanted to call out too, like, kudos on so many interviews. Your commitment to really getting in touch with your customers was really apparent. That was awesome.
Yeah, that was very impressive.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all so much for coming. So yeah, thank you so very much. And even to the Sharks, we appreciate you and your insight, your questions, the candor. I mean, all of the things. Before we close, I definitely want to give space to hearing from you all. Of all of the presentations that you've heard today and have witnessed, what would you say would be the best piece of feedback for these, early level designers and researchers as they continue to push forward a career in this space within tech or even across industries?
I think that you may have read through some of the questions we have, and I think I want to be clear too, because there's two problems we're solving here. There's portfolio work, and then there's pitch work. And so I will share this, like as a hiring manager, when I look at portfolio presentations, I'm looking for project framing, evidence of collaboration, evidence that folks were able to explore multiple solutions to a problem, customer focus, and impact. And so there was a ton of that today, which was excellent. I especially appreciate that this program really sets up project and problem framing really well. And I thought that there were a couple of groups that it really did the collaboration piece well, like talked about like what their and the other piece too that I didn't mention was process. Like as a hiring manager, I love to see what your process was and understand, like, I don't need to know that you're an expert in Figma. Like you can learn Figma, but like that you can use tools, how you use tools, how you work with other people is really important. So there were some really great moments there. And then from the pitch side, I think the biggest piece would be that I know we're all focused on the interaction designs and customer impact, but then when you get to folks giving you money, they're going to ask you about things like the systems that influence your product, and data sources are a big one, because if you aren't, you don't want to reinvent the wheel. So if you can come and say, yes, we've identified, like if you're building a weather app and you're like, yes, we've identified a way to take the National Weather Service's data source and build on top of that, so we are not trying to become a weather provider ourselves, that's going to inspire a lot more energy in your investors than if you're looking at it and saying like, oh God, they're trying to become a weather service too. So if you're looking to like really send a pitch home, having a little bit of that on the back end, little bit of that technical insight can go a long way. So I will stop there, but I loved seeing that evidence of the stuff that I looked at for as a hiring manager. And then I think we saw a variety of things along those lines, like some of those back end insights that you might look for as an investor.
Right. And she Cheryl she hit it all across the board. But at the same time, be able to not only know your numbers, but it's also good to practice your presentation ahead of time, record yourself, test it out, see how you respond, see the questions that you have, and at the same time have the team look at what you can do and what you can cover, right? And everything was across the board. What this program is doing, it showed the usability, what they need to do with their sketching, how they put their stuff together, how they presentate it. Everything was covered. So it was a beautiful thing. I enjoyed it. There were some questions, of course, when you pitch in the Sharks, let them know what the price is, right? And make sure that you can show where the money is going, right? And understand, even if you say, hey, this is $250,000, it'll be good to have a pie chart to show where that money is going, right? And that also helps with the sales pitch as well, right? And then knowing the background of what they're doing and knowing that your competition, your advertising, you can show a projection, because if you're going to spend $250,000, they want to know how quick that money is going to come back. Right? You want to show a chart of, okay, if you invest $250,000, we're going to make 1.8 million by 2028, right? I want to see that visibly, right? Because I'm too busy already looking at your presentation, hearing about what's going on. I need some visuals at the same time of seeing where that money is going, right? I see the flow process. I see everything else is going, but you have to understand the visuals impact everything, right? Automation. There was some presentation that was good with automation. I love that. Some of it was candid. Some of it had a lot of automation that kept your attention. And that was the great part about these groups today. They was very thorough about that.
I mean, amazing. Honestly, everything that I was going to say, you both hit on the nail. Again, we just want to say a huge thank you to our sharks. On behalf of the Mentor Me Collective, we went ahead and sent you all a gift card where you all can spend that at, I think you have a choice of over 200 brands, an electronic gift card. I mean, Nordstrom, Apple, Amazon, honey, or if you wanted to even gift it to an organization of your choice. But we just want to say thank you so very much for being a part, spending your Saturday with us. I know we went way over, but we just really appreciate your time and your heart and your candor for today. So yeah, thank you so much.
I had a great time. It was a pleasure.
Really, thank you.
Congratulations, everybody, on such the culmination of so much hard work.
And you know what, Chanel, congratulations to you. You have really worked hard. I've been with you since the first program, and you have really excelled in over the years, and I'm very proud of you, and I'm very proud of this organization and this group.
Oh my goodness, thank you so much. We're so grateful, and we're so very thankful. Onward and upward, we're looking to launch our second cohort next year, hoping to expand it from just design and research to other branches of animation, also with product, data science, and also engineering. So we want to give more folks more opportunities. So yeah, thank you very much.
And I also have to plug in real quick for you, for all your people who's about to become alumni. Stay into Chanel's Mentor Me Slack channel. There's a lot of information that you can get there, a lot of communications. There's a lot of referrals and links that would definitely help you out with your career.
Thank you so much, Antoine. Yes, we try to share as much as we can, and also our newsletters as well. So definitely stay connected, everyone. We're so very proud of you, fellows. Some of you all have come from no knowledge to literally sitting here and pitching your project. So yeah, thank you all so very much. Thank you, Sharks. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday.
Right, everybody have a good weekend.
Bye. All right, y'all. Thank you all again so very much. Please make sure that you go ahead and submit your wonderful feedback. That will help us with choosing a winner. The winners will be getting HomePod Minis. They will be getting HomePod Minis shipped directly to their address. So please make sure you go ahead and do that. And again, you can even vote for yourself. Make sure you vote for yourself once. We don't want to see 5 different votes for your SIN group from you, okay? So you feel free to vote for yourself as well, and also for the other people too. Wishing you all again, like I said, a wonderful rest of your Saturday. Bye, everyone.